broadcast on YouTube as well. So give me 2 seconds here, and we are live once again. Aloha, welcome. Thank you so much everyone for watching this in the future, for joining in, and for being here for another live broadcast of live tarot readings with Wolf. And of course I am Wolf, and we're gonna get started here right in a second. Give me two moments as we just set things up from behind the scenes. For those of you tuning in on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. For those of you on Facebook, go ahead and hit that share button as well as that like button. It all helps. And honestly, if you're on Facebook, you can jump over to the YouTube version of the broadcast if you would like. So if you're tuned in on Facebook right now, go ahead and just drop some 333s in the chat. Let me know that you are there. And like I said, we'll get started once we've got things rolling. We'll get ready for our first reading of the night, and then from there we'll be working towards getting our first Patreon sign up for tonight, and then the first Patreon sign up will be our second reading of the broadcast. So for those of you who may be new, again, what we do here, we focus on providing a lot of awesome value for the community while also being able to help create and support the future value of the community by being able to invite people to tune in and support on my Patreon, and that's with a monthly micro donation. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second, and we're just going to take another moment here to be able to make sure that things are all good. And so again, if you're tuned in on Facebook and you would like to be able to be eligible for the first reading that we do tonight, all you have to do is share this broadcast in either your page or a group, and then drop a 333 in the chat and let me know. And again, we're just getting things rolling here, so hang tight, and thank you so much for joining in. If it's your first time here, go ahead and drop a 222. For those of you on Instagram, go to my Instagram story and swipe up, and you can tune in on YouTube there. And if you're on YouTube, absolutely please hit that like button if you would so kindly, and that helps more people find the broadcast just because it like shows up in the algorithm and stuff like that. And bonus points if you happen to be here because maybe you've recently subscribed to my channel following the new video that we posted today, the interviewing drunk students about aliens, dreams, and dimensions, which was pretty awesome. So I'm going to post the link for the YouTube version into the Facebook chat. So again, for those of you on Facebook, you can watch on Facebook or you can watch on YouTube. Either or is totally cool. So again, let's get some activity in the chat. Again, for those of you who are here and you're looking to be able to get a reading right off the bat, what we'll do is we'll choose someone from the chat, and we do that just by being able to determine how many people we got on the chat right now. So drop a 333 into the chat if you're interested in being able to get a reading on air. And again, I'm just going to keep an eye on some of the chats here. I just got to take one more second as we just have to share this to a couple more pages. And again, for those of you on Facebook, your help is greatly appreciated when you share this to different groups. Sharing it to groups is definitely an effective way to not only be able to invite more people to tune in, but to be able to help share the inspiration that we are creating here together as a team, as a community. So again, for those of you who may be joining for the first time, my name is Brendan. I'm a full-time conscious media creator. I've been creating media for over 10 years. I've done over 5 billion broadcasts. And I'm an award-winning conscious filmmaker. I've again been making all sorts of different full-length movies, making lots of free hugs videos, lots of guided meditations as well. Lots of really, really exciting things. So again, just give me 2 seconds here. I'm just going to share this to just one or two more groups. I don't want to share it to too many groups, or else it bans me from the group. So I'm gonna do a live broadcast here in the Lightworkers live feed, and we got our feed going on YouTube and on Facebook, and things look pretty good. So awesome. Thank you so much everyone for joining in. We're gonna get right into our first reading. So again, if it's your first time here and you haven't yet, go ahead and just drop a 222 in the chat to let us know that's your first time here. Yo, Metaphysical Genie, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you too, and I appreciate you checking out the video today. So all right. So here are the instructions if you would like to be eligible to get a reading. So what we do here, again, the intention for this broadcast, it's twofold. A, to be able to help provide awesome insight, clarity, and inspiration for the people tuned into this, to be able to help be conduits and to practice bringing forth valuable messages for the community that are going to help assist us on our path of being able to help shift consciousness and show up as individuals within our day-to-day life. And the second objective of this broadcast is to be able to help connect people with the work that I do and invite them to be able to help support the ongoing evolution of the work that I do through Patreon with a monthly micro donation. So I'll post a link for the Patreon. So again, what we're going to do the first reading for someone out of the chat, and I'm going to give you guys the instructions for that. And then the second reading that we do on air will be for the first person who signs up for the Patreon tonight. So you can see on screen our Patreon goal is working towards 150. That's our next milestone. And we are currently at 114. And again, I'm going to post a link for the Patreon, and it only takes about 3 minutes to sign up. And just as further incentive, when you sign up on the Patreon, you also get the opportunity to be able to get some super dope items, such as the very beautiful Light Guardian crystals. And these are exclusive items that I hand make. And how much do these cost? As much as you wish to pay once you've signed up to the Patreon. So you can get your first one for as much as you wish to pay when you sign up for the Patreon. And these are beautiful quartz Light Guardian crystals. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But again, let's work towards getting our first Patreon sign up. And I'm aiming to do this broadcast probably about 3 hours, give or take. So our objective is to get at least 2 Patreon signups, and then when we get a third sign up as a bonus, we'll do another reading from the Lightworker Oracle deck. So we've been doing a few of these broadcasts ongoing, and again, this is me showing up, being able to provide value for the community, and this is my job too. This is my devotion. This is my play. So thank you so much for sharing this together. All right, let's get into that first reading. So here's the instructions. If you haven't already yet and you would like to be able to get a reading, we choose someone out of the chat, and this is how we choose it. Step 1, if you would like a reading, share this broadcast if you haven't already yet. So you can do that. Make sure you're subscribed to my channels. You can follow me on YouTube and Instagram if you haven't already yet. If you're watching this on Facebook, be sure to do that. New video just got posted today. And then the next thing that you're going to do, so you've shared this broadcast, the next thing you're going to do, I'm going to give you a number, and you're going to enter this number into the chat. And the 5th person who enters this number into the chat across our multiple chat platforms, so we have Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and also Instagram, that person will be the first person who we do our first reading for tonight. And then again, the second reading will be for the first person who signs up for the Patreon. And again, that's a monthly micro donation, $3 to $5. And again, if you've been around and you've checked out my work for a long time, you're probably familiar with what I do. But if you're not familiar, if this is your first time meeting me, you can check out my Patreon, because that shows you all the cool videos that I do as well. And it only takes about 3 minutes to sign up to the Patreon. So again, by you supporting on the Patreon, it helps us help more people. So here is the number. If you haven't already yet, share this broadcast. Here is the number. The number that I'm going to give you, don't enter it right away, because you want to listen to your intuition here. You want to be the 5th person to enter it across multiple chats. So it's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So the number that I'm going to give you is the number 777. So type 777 into the chat. Don't enter right away. Don't enter right away. Hold off just for a second. Take a breath. Everybody take a breath. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your guides. Listen to your gut. Listen to your gizzard. Trust your gizzard. And I'll keep an eye on that. And then when you're ready, hit enter. And I'll let you know who the first person that we're going to do the reading for today is. So I'm going to give some shout outs in the meantime to everybody tuned in right now. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Tim. Shout out to Shawanda. Shout out to Sean, Jarvis, Andrew again. I'm sorry for that twice. Bonnie Sue, Roman, and Dwight. Sorry, it won't let me scroll up all the way. Sweet. And Jose and Paper Druid and Christine and anybody else who happens to be tuned in on this. And even if you're just here to hang out, absolutely, just please feel free to keep chatting in the chat and keep that chat nice and lit. Stay lit, fam. So, all right, so I'll let you know who the first person is that we're doing a reading for tonight. All right, so our first reading for tonight is going to be for Cosmic Moon. So congratulations to Cosmic Moon. We're going to do our first reading for you tonight, and Cosmic Moon is in our YouTube chat right now. So thank you so much, Cosmic Moon. And for those of you again who are tuned into this, know that this message way and it allows us to be able to bring forth a message for the entire community. So like I say, if you are here, this message is for you. So we're going to get right into our first reading. And again, for those of you who are here, if it's your first time here, absolutely, just get a feel for it. Check it, like just feel things out. If you've been here before and you already know about the work that I do, then again, know that the second person who we're going to do a reading for tonight will be for our first Patreon sign up for tonight. So again, what we do here is we do awesome readings for the community. And again, this is my job, where we also invite people to help support the ongoing work that I do for the community by supporting on Patreon with a monthly micro contribution. And our objective is to get two Patreon signups during this broadcast. And again, if we get 3 Patreon signups, we'll do the Lightworkers Oracle Guide. So, Oracle deck reading. So let's get right into this first reading. So Cosmic Moon, thank you so much for being here. Again, thank you everyone. For those of you tuning in on Instagram, swipe up on my Instagram story and tune in on YouTube. And let's get right into this. So for everybody here, pull out your light guardian crystals if you got them. Some of you do. All right, so Cosmic Moon, if you're ready for this reading, let me know in the chat. And for everybody here, let's get ready for it together. Let's do this as a team. I invite you to just drop into your heart space. And again, we've been doing these readings for quite a while, and the feedback on them is phenomenal. People are just like, yes, this is like super, super inspiring stuff I need to hear. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. And thank you for staying connected. So drop into your heart space. Everybody here, just take a couple breaths. Big exhale, relax. A little bit of a sway right now, as if you're just kind of like dancing to some music. I got some like chill lo-fi beats on in the background. You might not be able to hear it, but just take another breath here and just bring yourself into that space of gratitude. Beautiful. Imagine everyone just kind of like in a circle, holding that vibration, tribe coming together. Stay lit, fam. All right, Cosmic Moon. Inviting you to be able to bring yourself into the intention of show me what I need to see. So for everybody here, I invite you into that intention too. So add your collective intention together. So Cosmic Moon, invite yourself into that intention of show me what I need to see. And then take a few breaths. And then when you are ready, you're going to type now into the chat. And in the meantime, I'm just going to charge the deck a little bit more with some poetry, flowetry, conscious freestyle stuff. So thank you again, everyone, for joining in. Please feel free to share this broadcast, and let's have some fun. And so here we are within this no, stepping into this infinite flow, because hey, it doesn't matter which way you go. The important thing is that you show up and that you remember what you know, is that you remember the magic that has always been within your heart. You remember that it is there where we all start. For we are on this journey, we are walking each other home. For we are on this journey, and we are remembering what we know. And we are here to bring forth the magic of this love. And we are here card, and we're just going to keep flowing with the flow tree, because that's where we're at. For us to be able to practice communicating with the universe, you know, for us to be able to practice communicating with the language of the universe, to practice communicating for the universe. Our first card for Cosmic Moon, and for everybody here, is the card of the turning point. So give me 2 seconds here. I'm going to open up the book that we got. And again, for those of you who may be new here, I know we got probably about 30 people tuned in. For those of you who haven't yet, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, and definitely check out this new video that we did. We did a new video where I interviewed drunk university students about dreams, dimensions, and aliens, and it turned out really well. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. And I'm going to get right into this first reading. And again, we're going to do the second reading for the first person who signs up for the Patreon. So if you haven't already yet, go ahead and check out the Patreon. The link for that is posted. Awesome. We already got our first Patreon sign up. Christine, thank you so much. And again, don't let that stop anybody else. The next person we're creating, again, for those of you who aren't familiar, I'm an award-winning Canadian filmmaker, and I've dedicated myself to being able to help create inspirational conscious media to help accelerate the shift and build community. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. Let's get right into this first reading, and then we'll get into our next reading for Christine, and then the next reading after that will be for whoever the next person who signs up for the Patreon. Let's have some fun. All right, so describing the image literally, what do we have here? So this is a very beautiful image. This card is, again, the turning point. And you can see there's like a variety of hands at the bottom of this card. Some of them are kind of like, one of them's actually holding a paintbrush, or like holding like a pencil, or an art, or like something to write with. And you can see other hands, some of them almost in like mudra fashion, and other of them's just kind of like opened up. And then in the sky, you have this beautiful mandala, and there's a lot of different designs up in the sky. Again, I'm just explaining it literally right now, and then we're going to get into the reading and go a little bit deeper. There's like a little like puzzle pieces up there, things kind of coming together. And again, it looks like it's like some sort of fireball, some sort of gassy fireball, aka the sun. And there's like some little like branches and stuff like that. Like, this is one of the more detailed visual cards. So let's get right into reading this. And again, thank you so much everyone for being here. Please feel free to keep sharing this broadcast. In doing so, you share the inspiration. And yeah, let's have some fun. All right. The turning point. So again, for everybody here, listen. If you're tuned in right now, this message is for you. The turning point. The image. From the depths of the unconsciousness, the nature of human being strives towards a higher spiritual reality. Meaning, the traditional name of this card is Judgment. It symbolizes the dissolution from past servitude and breaking through into new realms of existence, with the goal of overcoming restrictive earthly attachments. In letting go of limiting modes of consciousness suitability. I'm going to reread that part. Established patterns that originated in childhood are tested for their suitability. When stubborn patterns are recognized as subconscious programming, then they can be released. These are all deeply rooted judgments that burden the soul and hinder the free flow of life energy. Reconciling with our mistakes and inadequacies and forgiving others and ourselves is in order to say goodbye to negative root beliefs, means that we can discover and welcome the light of our true nature. I'm going to reread that part. Listen very closely. Reconciling with our mistakes and inadequacies and forgiving others and ourselves in order to say goodbye to negative root beliefs means we can discover and welcome the light of our true nature. Only when we are finally free of the patterns and impressions of past judgments are we able to spread out our spirit beyond the boundaries of our ego and experience far-reaching dimensions of reality. Freedom from the shadows of the past and using the freed potential lead to a spiritual renewal. Okay, I just got another paragraph here. Do you like my voice? Do you need me to go deeper with my voice? Does it need like a little bit? Like, let me know. Let me know on a scale of kind of like David Attenborough to Morgan Freeman. Let me know where you want to slide it, and I'll just kind of like get it in there. All right. So you're just like, oh God, not the Morgan Freeman voice again. The refined realizations that we no, hold on. The refined realizations. No, I'll do it later. Don't worry, I'm a professional, I swear. The refined realizations that we have won make it possible for us to stand up against the new and unknown without prejudice. We do this to experience a rebirth of the soul and the resurrection of our true inner being. With fixed judgments, our masks and crusty shells of unnecessary self-protection mechanisms finally fall away. That, as a result of previous life transformation, has been integrated into our very being and have thereby become characteristics. Aside from the sobering process of awakening, the image of a historical turning point brings a promising message. It represents the transformation process of the inner being, from the darkness of the unconsciousness to the light of the consciousness, symbolized by the alchemical process of turning iron into gold. With this, man stands at the decisive step of going on to a higher level of development. Astrological significance: Uranus, Pluto at IC, Aquarius. Keywords: rising of subconscious powers, overcoming the past, releasing old life habits, connection with higher powers, openness, judgment, reestablishing unity, breakthrough to new worlds, awakening unused potential, transformation, spiritual broadening. Traditional meaning: resurrection, interferes, breakthrough, overcoming earthly attachments, success through clear decisions, The youngest jury, freedom, release, deeply rooted judgments. Beautiful. All right. So, for everybody tuned into this is a very, very powerful card, especially to be able to get as like the first card that we're pulling for here today for the team and for Cosmic Moon. And so for Cosmic Moon, for you in particular, again, I think this card is a very powerful card for each of us to be able to acknowledge the ways in which journeys not only are unfolding, but are meant to unfold. And to be able to actually embrace that as a part of the natural beauty in which things happen. Meaning that in order for things to grow, things have to change. The fate of destruction is the joy of rebirth. Nothing stays the same. The only constant is change. We've all heard this before. Yet sometimes it's valuable for us to be able to talk about it out loud and to be able to receive this message. And again, me sharing this broadcast and talking to you is me being like a conduit for the universe to be able to acknowledge and honor where you are at, but also give that a little bit of inspiration and insight for us to be able to see more of the bigger picture and how things are unfolding, and for us to be able to take a step back and to give ourselves the time and space to be able to reflect and think, what parts of my past do I need to let go of? What parts of my past do I need to reconcile? What parts of my past do I need to be able to change my perception on? Do I need to change my paradigm on? Knowing, this is the big thing, knowing that every single thing that has happened to you has been there to serve you. Yet, the result of that being there is only fully actualized once you take that next step in being able to look at it more closely, in being able to become more conscious of it, and being able to transform lead into gold. So again, obviously a big part of this is overcoming the past, but it's also by being able to understand that the past is there to be able to serve as a catalyst for where we're going into the future. Before we get ready for that next chapter, we need to be able to make sure that we are looking back on the lessons we have already been given as students and ask ourselves, how are we showing up? Are we showing up wisely? Are we showing up attentively? Are we showing up in the best way we can? And how can we show up even more? So in a lot of ways, again, what it says here, these are all, or I'll go back one second, established patterns that originate in childhood are tested for their suitability. When stubborn patterns are recognized as subconscious programming, then they can be released. So in a lot of ways, I'm sure many of us have probably seen this. I've probably seen this in people where there's ways that they've kind of been brought up in childhood, you know, like maybe their parents spoiled them, or maybe their parents were kind of really strict, something of that nature, you know, something that was related to their worth, or something that ultimately gave them a perception of themselves or programmed them with a style of behavior. And then when they became adults, if you were to meet this person and suddenly these programs started showing up in their adult life, suddenly you would probably be on, if you were to observe it, you may be on the opposite end of it and just be like, oh man, like that person, like this is causing strife, this is causing frustration, this is causing, you know, stagnation, this is preventing things from moving forward. So say for example, you know, like this is just a general example. Say for example that like a child was like super spoiled growing up and things like that, and then they grow up as an adult and then they expect everyone to do things for them. Like that's not realistic. But at the same time, it's the responsibility of the individual as well as us as friends to be able at times to be able to show up as a good spiritual friend, to be able to call each other on our bullshit, to be able to invite each other not out of shame, but to be able to just kind of check in with each other and just be like, hey, you know, like where is this behavior coming from? Where is this actually rooted in? And how can you allow yourself to see how you've been brought up as a child, but to be able to see it from a place of gentleness, to be able to see it from a place of forgiveness, to be able to see it from a place of understanding that it too is just a stepping point to allow you to become more of who you are. So reconciling with our mistakes and inadequacies and forgiving others and ourselves in order to say goodbye to negative root beliefs means that we discover and welcome the light of our true nature. So in order to be able to become more of who we are, we have to be willing to change to change how we relate to our past. Not just try and change our past, but to change how we relate to our past. Can we see the past as being a catalyst for what is allowing us to grow into more of who we are? Can we allow it to break us into new worlds? And can we see it from a place of judgment, but not judgment in like in a way that is, again, like judging from like a cynical viewpoint, but more so assessing. So for everybody here, I encourage you to just kind of, as you get ready to move into this next stage, again, you know, we're kind of like shifting out of Libra. We're getting to like move into Scorpio. We're getting into like the water areas of ourselves and everything like that. It's a great time to be able to just check in with ourselves. And you can practice being radically honest with yourself and just be able to check in and just be like, what habits are serving me? What habits are not fully serving me? And when you really listen to your heart, you can get clear. You can get clear on yourself. You can just be like, oh, you know, like maybe, like, again, like this is an example. Maybe there's, and it's not always just from childhood, right? Like maybe there's like parts of yourself. This is just an example for anyone where that person may come off as being very needy, you know, like very needy. Like they kind of like always like need someone else to kind of like help them feel a certain way or something like that. Now, again, when we have like been through situations that have kind of like brought on those habits, it's also a way for us to be able to practice becoming more self-aware, to practice transforming lead into gold, and to see that those habits in themselves were never meant to last, but they always were a stepping point in order for us to become more self-aware, and then ultimately to be able to have the courage to be able to be brave enough to understand that when we look at those parts of ourselves, it's actually like our heart showing us where it needs to send more love. So for example, a person who may come off as very needy in a circumstance, be it relationship or otherwise, that in itself can be a way for them to be able to practice becoming more independent, more resilient, more self-reliant, and also for them to be able to practice sending more love to parts of themselves. Where they once felt neediness, now they can actually see that in a new light, where they can actually understand that that is actually a part of themselves that is like where they can grow. So again, only when we finally free of the patterns and impressions of past judgment are we able to spread out our spirit beyond the boundaries of our ego and experiencing far-reaching dimensions of reality. I'll give you another example. Some people are you know, people who may be very, very spiritual sometimes grow up in families that are not spiritual. But again, you know, like those in themselves are there to propel us. When other people try to like put on their own programming in us, it's also a way for our soul to like bring forth its own resilience, to shine its own light, and to be able to say like, no, like this is not who I am. But if we don't question, if we aren't asking questions, which again is like a big part of what this card is about, it's about being able to take the time, to be able to question our behavior, to question the way we see the world, and to be able to check in and be like, where is that paradigm coming from? And is it serving me? Is that something my parents told me? Is it something my school taught me? Or is it something that I formulated myself? Is it actually something more pure to my being? Is it actually something noble to my heart? Is it something that aligns with my virtues? So just wrapping up this card here, again, you know, this is a very important card because it is a card that recognizes the important journey that all of us go through. The idea that in order to be able to become more of who we are, we have to let go of who we once were, understanding that even who we are now may still continue to change. Like ultimately, like this is kind of, I'll just say this and we'll wrap this up. And for anybody here, let me know how this card resonates with you and leave any other thoughts about just like any other perceptions that you perceive on this card. But one of the things that I'll just say in relation to this is that as we grow older, some of you will already fully understand exactly what I mean on this. As we grow older, we learn who we are by learning who we are not. So for you, Cosmic Moon, and for everybody here, I invite you to be able to reflect on that question deeply. Who am I and who am I not, right? Oh, I am not like those self-limiting beliefs, those self-limiting habits, those self-limiting patterns. And not to say that like there is still a part of you that is them. And that's the thing, like you don't just want to like try and just like take those old habits and just like bury them and put them in a chest and like stick them in your closet. That in itself might not actually solve the case, but you want to be able to kind of like cut the cords with love, or transform whatever habit or pattern it was with love. Again, by being able to honor it and see it as a catalyst, by being able to see it as like something still divine and perfect for the journey that you are on. So again, traditional meanings in this: overcoming earthly attachment, success through clear decision, freedom, release. So this is a very, very powerful card, just acknowledging that for all of us, you know, there are going to be many turning points throughout our individual lives. And as we move through those turning points, before we just jump into that next stage, we will serve ourselves even more when we make sure that we look back and be able to ask ourselves, what do we want to bring with us? And what do we want to leave behind? Not to say that we're like, you know, leaving anything in a foolish way, but we're just trying to decide intelligently, what are you bringing with you into the future? And what can you afford to let go of? And how will letting go of some things actually open you up to more things? So honor that. Honor the ability for you to be able to grow into more of who you are by letting go of that which you are not. So that's a very powerful message to be able to receive from the turning point card there. So Cosmic Moon, let me know how that resonates with you. And for anybody else here, thank you again for being tuned in. And I'll read some of the comments that people might have to share. Yeah, Sean talking about value and balance. From rock bottom, you'd have a better sight of which way to go than anyone else. Absolutely, Sean. Something must be valued of difference in order to change patterns. Absolutely, Sean. Very great points there. And for anybody else who wants to leave any comments, Christine, our newest Patreon supporter, says, as far back as your birth, did you work and twist your way through the birth canal, or were you a C-section lifted out of your warm space by a doctor? How did your nervous system develop? Yeah, Christine, that's going deep, like going all the way back. Very true. Spiritual mastery. Any thoughts on the 13th sign after reading done? I do have some thoughts on that, but that might not be a topic totally for tonight. But that definitely is just a lot to do with like esoteric knowledge. Rising of the Serpent. Cosmic Moon says, wow, such a powerful card that deeply resonated with me. Thank you so much. Hope others were able to resonate with it as well. So awesome. Cosmic Moon, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cosmic Moon, for joining and for being here and for supporting. And always happy to be able to have you here and anybody else in the community as well tuning into these broadcasts. So thank you so much, Cosmic Moon, for being here once again. And with that said, we'll just check in real quick. And again, if anybody else has any other comments they want to share, please feel free to do that. For those of you tuning in on Facebook, please feel free to share this broadcast with your friends. And all right, cool. Okie dokie. All right, so we're gonna get right into this next reading. And again, the next reading will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon, and we'll try and get in as many readings as we can within the next at least 3 hours. So I'll post a link here into the YouTube chats and into the Facebook chats. And again, please feel free to share this broadcast, and we'll get right into the next reading. So Christine, let me know when you're ready for this next reading, and we'll get right into this next one. I love being able to just jump from like one reading to the next. So let's work on getting another Patreon supporter signed up. And again, for those of you who may be entirely new, my name is Brendan, aka Skull Babylon, Mystic Spider-Man. Skull Babylon on YouTube, Mystic Spider-Man on Instagram. I'm a neo-gonzo journalist of the future, meaning that I help create inspirational conscious media to document the shift in consciousness. And I am also the director and facilitator for the Paradigm Shift Central community, which anybody here is welcome to connect with. That's at paradigmshiftcentral.com. Just going back, Cosmic Moon says, I felt some powerful energy coming from my light guardian crystal as you were giving that message. Had it against my third eye. Awesome. Yeah, Cosmic Moon's got their own light guardian crystals. That's super cool that, again, for anybody here, tune into these broadcasts and bring your light guardian crystals with you when you do. So, yeah, so just real quick, again, for those of you who may not be familiar with my work, you can check out more of the info at the Patreon. Patreon.com/Brendan Culleton. And actually, I'm just going to update the info on screen. And again, we're working towards 2 Patreon signups during this broadcast. And if we get a 3rd Patreon sign up, then that will give us the special reading that we'll do from the Lightworker Oracle reading as well. So, boop-a-doop-a-doo. Okay, I'm just going to update the on-screen graphic here because that is always like a super exciting thing to do. For those of you who have been tuned in for the past broadcast, you may notice you can be like, Brendan, we did a broadcast 2 days ago and the Patreon goal was at 125 and now it's at 115. What happened? Well, just for clarity, what that actually means is that that's just the amount of active supporters. And on the first of each month, the donations process, and this is common, but usually people's donations don't always go through. So that means that there was like 10 people out of the normal 125, and for whatever reason, their donations didn't go through. But that could have just been, again, just like a credit card issue, and they can update that later in the month. So expect that number to fluctuate, but that doesn't stop us from still just moving forward as best as we can. And again, this is part of my job. Like I do this to be able to help provide value, but it's literally part of my job to get that Patreon up, because as it gets up there even more, then I'll be able to do even more stuff for the community. So this is me honoring the future and being able to do things eventually. Like I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to go to more festivals and things like that. I want to be able to just like help support more creators within the community. So thank you for your support in all forms. And again, check out more at patreon.com/Brendan Carlton. It only takes 3 minutes to sign up with a monthly micro donation. And one more thing I'll just mention real quick, and then we'll get into the next reading. For Christine, our newest Patreon supporter, if people here want to choose the $11 level on the Patreon, then they can get a Lumerian Light Guardian Crystal. So this is an example of one of the Lumerian ones. The Lumerian ones are just like a much more like high tier cut. So they themselves, like they normally sell between $60 and $100. And again, you can get one of these as a pay what you wish once you sign up for the Patreon at the $11 level. And at the $11 level, you can also join our private membership community as a leading member, which allows you access to join our future on-air broadcasts during our synergy circles, and to be able to help work alongside myself and other conscious media creators. And you can access me as a consultant for media creation, and yeah, lots of cool stuff. So that's at the $11 level. But again, for anybody here, sign up at the $3, the $5, and we'll keep an eye open for the next Patreon sign up. And go ahead and let me know in the comments if you're interested in signing up for the Patreon, and we'll keep an eye open for that. And in the meantime, we're going to get right into this next reading for Christine. So thank you so much, Christine, for supporting on the Patreon, J. Christine Lamb. And they are ready. All right, so yeah, shout out to everybody else who is whoa, we got 2 people with birthdays, Paper Druid and Cosmic Moon. Their birthdays are 1 day apart, and both of you are like, yeah, the Ophiuchus. Yeah, no, definitely. I really am fascinated with the Ophiuchus, like that astrological sign. Absolutely. So if you guys are chit-chatting about it in the chat, I'll keep an eye on that. So again, if you guys are here, please feel free to just use this chat to kind of like connect with each other. Even please feel free to share your Instagram like links, so you can put like your @ sign and you can let people know your Instagram, and then you guys can join each other on Instagram. Awesome. Yeah, spiritual mastery. If we're connected on Instagram, go ahead and just send me a link for any of the stuff that you're working on, your music and stuff like that. Again, like part of what my intention is being able to help create a global team of conscious media creators, and that's what we've been doing over the years, and that's constantly growing. So awesome, sweet. All right, Christine, let's get right into this next reading. So Christine, for everybody here, if you're just in the chat, please feel free to just keep it casual, and for everybody who is ready, please feel free to just allow yourself to drop into that heart space, and we'll get right into this next reading. So take a couple breaths here, Christine. And you can just begin by inviting yourself into that intention of show me what I need to see. And just be in that space of gratitude, and just add a little bit of sway, add a little bit of a wiggle to your spine, maybe wag your tail a bit. Do you ever imagine wagging your tail? I do. All right. Christine, when you are ready, take a few more breaths and type now into the chat, and I'll charge the deck up just a little bit more. And again, everyone, take a moment here, take a breath, just put forth your intentions. We're all doing this together. Feel the breath, the one breath that has always been. Feel the breath, the heartbeat that is within. This cosmic beat, this cosmic love, this cosmic drum that beats from above. Like the oceans, like the wave, you are here to move in many ways, so flexible, so fluid, allowing yourselves to move through this with more inspiration and light. You are here to shine the way and to show others how to do this, not necessarily right nor wrong, but simply to show up strong, learning each and every day all along, because that is your journey. That is why you are here, to grow as a cosmic student, to remember what is always near. Now, says Christine. Beautiful. All right, let's get right into this. Oh boy, one of my favorite cards. All right, charging it up. For those of you on Instagram, swipe up on my Instagram story and tune in there. All right, so the card that we pulled for Christine, our newest Patreon supporter for tonight, thank you so much, Christine, is the Princess of Flames. Yes, 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 the Flame Princess card itself. So this card is one of my favorite cards, so allow me 2 seconds here as I open this up. And I feel like we got a few Flame Princesses in here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just taking a wild guess at that. I mean, considering we've got like a few Sag in here, I can see that from like your birthdays that you were sharing. So that's cool. All right. The other day we pulled the Knight of Flames, and that was like the Jim Morrison card. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's get right into this reading. We'll keep an eye open for the next Patreon sign up. So again, for those of you in the chat, if anybody here would like to sign up for the Patreon, or anybody, honestly, if you're already signed up for the Patreon, you can always update your pledge. That can work too. For those of you tuning in on Twitch, thank you so much. I am seeing your comments there. Lawless, thank you so much. Cave Goblin, thank you so much. Go ahead, you guys can also watch on YouTube. I'll just take 1 second here to post a link in the YouTube chat. And again, the next reading that we do after this one for Christine will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. And nice, the new video that we posted has almost had 300 views, so all right, Christine's pretty excited about this card. Let's get right into this. So again, thank you so much. Sean, thanks for posting that link. If you want to send me that in a direct message, I'll check that out afterwards. All right, cool. Christine says my Aries North node strikes again. All right, here we go. So looking at this card here, the Princess of Flames, what we can see here, I'll try and show you as best as I can. So you can see there's like these like very sensuous lips. Those lips that just scream like, oh man, like passion and mystery and focus and determination. And you can see these beautiful, what appear to be kind of like artistic renditions of flames. And you can see there's kind of like this stone structure kind of cutting the image across its middle path. And these dark reds and these bright oranges and these dancing fluid flames. Again, it's more of a rendition of flame, but it's almost like threads, like kind of like gymnastics threads. And yeah, and you got these bright red lips, but again, the princess is kind of like in the shadows at the same time. So that's just the image of the card there. And yeah, let's read into this. So for all the Princess of Flames, here we go. And again, we'll keep an eye open for that next Patreon sign up. And yeah, let's keep rolling with this, and we'll do as many readings as we can. So here we go. The Princess of Flames. The revealed sensuous lips of a flaming beauty appear in an increasingly hot-blooded atmosphere, showing hidden passion. No, I haven't practiced my Morgan Freeman voice. I'm embarrassed to do it. I'm going to reread that. Don't worry, I'm not going to actually do it that way. Princess of Flames. I'm going to read this in my this is like the voice that I speak into. Like, honestly, I feel like I'm sure there's some people that probably like enjoy listening to these because they're just like, I like how he talks. Do you guys like how I talk? I try to talk in a way that you will like it. So all right, I do this for you. This is a performance, you realize that. I'm like showing up for you guys. So keep tipping me and I'll keep dancing, literally and metaphorically. No, seriously, next Patreon person who signs up, I'll get up and dance. That's a promise. All right, Princess of Flames. The image. The revealed sensuous lips of a flaming beauty appear in an increasingly hot-blooded atmosphere, showing hidden passion. Meaning, The passionate component of the fire element and the concrete appearances of the earth element characterize a sensuous female being. Through the connection of the fire and earth elements, the principle of will pushes to the fore, in order to take on solid form in the material world. The things that give impulse for preservation and advancement of life on the etheric level now want to be experienced here with the senses. I'm gonna reread that. That part's like super cool. Yeah, you guys like my throat chakra? Super, super, super activated. The things that give impulse for preservation and advancement of life on the etheric level now want to be experienced here with the senses. A healthy connection to instincts with a controlled base nature and the fulfillment of natural needs are character traits of the Princess of Flames. The attractiveness of the outer form fills the purpose of mankind paying respect. In the consciousness of one's own value, the Princess of Flames indicates overcoming reservation of putting oneself in the center of attention without currying favor, maintaining one's naturalness and the right to happily take advantage of one's opportunities, give witness to a healthy relationship to self. Astrological significance: Venus, Mars, Leo, Earth, and fire elements. Keywords: passion, sensuality, grace, eroticism, fulfillment of natural instincts, attractiveness, feelings of self-worth, naturalness. Traditional meaning: taking advantage of opportunities, pride, self-confidence, lust, excitement, instinct, preservation, and promotion of life. It's my flame fire effects. Flame on! All right. So like I said, this is a very, very exciting card to be able to talk about. It's one of my favorite cards because, like, honestly, like, if I could, like, this is gonna sound kind of ridiculous. If I could, like, date a single card from the entire tarot deck, I think I would date the Princess of Flames. Like, that would, like, I don't know. That's but what this card is talking about here, first of all, the Princess of Flames, for anybody listening to this who identifies as male, understand that this message is still for you. We have the yin and the yang inside of us, the male and the female inside of us. But as an archetype, this is a very powerful card. And again, for Christine, this card is really inviting you and encouraging you to really practice being the Princess of Flames that you are, and to step out on that path without reservation, without shame, without anybody else trying to tell you what to do, and doing this because this is your soul calling, because this is your journey, because this is your dance, because this is your fire. And so when we think about the fire, when we think about the fire itself, I've said this before, but fire in itself is such a magical element. It's so freaking magical. It's like the closest thing to nothing, desperately trying to become something, if you think about it that way. It's this idea of like constantly just like fluctuating and everything like that. And sweet, we did just get another Patreon thing. I'll talk about that in a second. Thank you, Joanne. And so, again, with the Princess of Cards, this is such a powerful card that is basically just trying to tell you and remind you that you are so fire. You are so lit. You are so worthy. You are here to shine your light. You are here to dance. You are here not just to be seen, but to see yourself. And I think that's kind of the thing, is that sometimes we kind of get into this place where society teaches us that if we were to go out for a night on the town with the girls or just by ourselves, and we were to like dress up and things like that, a lot of people, they get into this idea of thinking like, oh, you know, like, oh, okay, like when girls go out dancing and stuff like that, they like to dress up, but they're just doing that because they want to be able to like attract a boyfriend or get the attention of anybody who might be there and things like that. No, this is a type of card. This is a type of card that is basically saying that you need to dress up, literally, metaphorically. You need to dance, literally, metaphorically, for you to see yourself, for you to meet yourself, for you to be like so lit that you are celebrating your own existence in every single step, in every single dance, while at the same time, inevitably inspiring others, inevitably making people's jaws drop, making people just like see you and just be like, oh my God, like there is something like there's something like beyond the physical about this person. Like this is like, yeah, they might be like moving their body in a different way, but it's like the confidence that they exude, the passion that they exude, the love that they exude, the excitement that they exude. And when you go out there and everything like that, again, you know, like people think that like sometimes when we go out there, it's like, oh, we're doing it, and then, you know, other people are going to see us, and then they're going to judge us, and then they're going to tell us whether or not we should or we shouldn't. Like, no, this is a type of card that basically for all of the societies, for all of the cultures that have like tried to tell women to like keep their flame nice and dim, to keep it, you know, like under wraps, to keep it, you know, nice and subtle and everything like that. This card is like a big like fuck you to them, but in a loving way, that says like, it's okay. You don't have to be afraid of my fire, because my fire is actually here to inspire you. My fire is here to help you ignite your fire. And you can't tell me what to do. You can't control my life. You can't tell me when and where I cannot dance. You can't tell me who I cannot hang out with. You cannot tell me what passions of mine I will not pursue. So this card is really, really inviting you, Christine, to just be able to acknowledge and pay attention to the passions within your heart, to the calling within your heart that says like, I want to go dance. I want to go out there. I want to like you know, spread my magic. I want to be able to not just, maybe you do want to be seen. And if you do want to be seen, that's okay. Because I think when you understand that simply you doing that is also you showing up in service by allowing yourself to be seen, you can still do it in a humble way. You know, like you can allow yourself to just kind of like walk through a crowd and not do it out of like ego, but allow people to see it and just be like, whoa, like if that person's doing it, then that means I can do it too. And you give permission to other people. You give permission to them to shine their light, to dance in the like with their flames fully ignite, to dance on the street corners, to dance in the clubs, to dance in their bedrooms, to dance in the fields, wherever they are, literally and metaphorically. This card is such a powerful card to take pride in who you are. So for all the males, the females, for every single person, this card is really just reminding you to shine your light, to shine your light without reservation, to shine your light in the ways that you feel called, knowing that in doing so, it's not just for you, and knowing that in doing so, it's you giving yourself the medicine of being able to bring in more confidence into your being so that you can keep showing up in more authentic ways, in more like empowering ways, so that you can be a leader, so that you can invite others to be in this place of excitement. And again, another big part of this card is also like the sensuality of this card. You know, like one of the things is that, you know, again, like women have kind of been like, their sensuality has been repressed. And I'm not just talking like not even just like sexuality, but sensuality. This card is like a beautiful card to just be able to practice, like, you know, giving ourselves permission to be able to be like, whoa, like I am beautiful. I am a sensual being. I have curves. I have like sway. I am the flame. I am so beautiful just for being who I am. And when I shine that, regardless of what everyone thinks, I become even more beautiful. And not to say that like beauty, like you're always going to be beautiful, but it's more so your light just becomes like even brighter. And again, you allow yourself to meet yourself. You allow yourself to see yourself. Like I know there's a lot of people who like, seriously, it's crazy. It's crazy to think this, that we live in this society, that there are probably like a lot of women that have never just like fully like let loose in an ecstatic dance type fashion, you know, like maybe they've gone to clubs and everything like that, and maybe they've had fun and everything like that, but to just like fully, you know, just imagine yourself like being around like a fire pit and everything like that, and then basically just like showing up and just like letting loose and feeling the fire and feeling the elements. So feel the flame and embody the flame and actualize the flame and show up as that flame. But another big part of about this card is being able to do it from a grounded place with the balance of earth. So opposed to just being too sporadic and being too much like just like, oh, there's like an awesome thing, I'm just going to do this. Instead, it's being able to find that root in the earth, find that foundation in the earth, so that when the moments of opportunity show up, you'll be able to like see them and to be able to act on them in confidence, to be able to have the stability, to be able to jump onto that dance floor, metaphorically speaking. So again, the things that give impulse for preservation and advancement of life on the etheric level now want to be experienced here within the senses. That idea is so freaking crazy. Like that idea that what we experience as like dancing and our fire and our passion and our excitements and everything like that on an etheric level, and even on like on a quantum level, that's like electricity. That's like electricity, like sparking things. That's like life being formed. That's life being created. That's like a flare on the sun sort of thing. So the same energy that is like literally preserving and creating life is the same energy that shows up in us when we dance. And again, not just dance, but literally when we share our heart song, when we share our art, when we share our magic in that sense. And when we do this, it gives life not only to ourselves, it like fuels our heart, it fuels our dreams, but it gives life to other people. It gives life to other people seeing this. And again, you become a permissionary. You doing this allows other people to be like, whoa, like that girl is freaking beautiful. That girl is so beautiful. And it has nothing to do with just like her physical appearance. It has to do with just how she chooses to show up. And understanding that for everybody here, this is something that's a practice. And I really just want to acknowledge that everybody is allowed to show up in a way that feels right for them. I'm not expecting or telling anyone to just like go out into the middle of the club and dance on the dance floor and be, the center of attention. That's not going to be for everyone. But for anybody here, you are invited to be able to connect with that fire in your own way, in your own ceremony, in your own sacredness, and show up to meet it and honor it and hold it in a way that works for you. And again, that's where I feel like literally just like dancing out in nature, dancing in the presence of the trees, dancing in the presence of Mother Nature is a great way for you to be able to practice connecting with this and to be able to like practice moving in ways you haven't done. And literally like when you're dancing, like again, I know where you said like if I got like another Patreon sign up, we would dance. And I just invite everybody here to like practice dancing. And what does it mean to like dance like the fire? Have you ever done that? Have you ever like danced like the elements? You dance like the fire, you dance like the water, you dance like the earth, you dance like the wind. And so when you're dancing like the fire, it's like, and when you get into this flow state, it shows up naturally. It's about getting out of your own way and allowing yourself to show up in the meditation of dance that will transform your soul. And again, this is both dance. I'm literally talking like literally in dance, but that dance can be when you put your pen to paper. That dance can be when you show up and you sing a song. That dance can be when you share your voice. That dance can be in you just kind of like doing something that's for you, doing something that is in your heart, doing something that is like, literally no one else is telling you to do this, but this is you like aligning with what you want to do for yourself. So this is such a powerful card. And again, for anybody here like hearing this card is also inviting us to really honor our sensuality and our eroticism as well. Like we are sexual beings by nature. We are sensual beings by nature. And that sensuality that we acknowledge within our being, that in itself is really creative energy. Like that is creative energy, like the same sexual energy that charges us is creative energy. And so when we acknowledge that like we are not just sensual beings but creative beings, then I think we give ourselves permission to be able to know that we can honor the sensuality of who we are and to like show up in a way where we can like like dress up and like not only dress up but dress out. So for you, Christine, for everybody here, I really invite you next time you get a chance, maybe this weekend, practice dressing up. If you feel comfortable with this, if it resonates, practice dressing up in a way where you are dressing out, where how you dress externally is by no means with the intention to try and get the attention of some boy or girl or whatever or anything like that. It is merely an act of self-love for you to practice expressing who you are on the inside, on the outside, for that flame to be seen, for you to be able to practice shining your inner light. So Feelings of self-worth, passion, sensuality, eroticism, fulfillment of natural instincts, attractiveness, naturalness. I love that idea. Fulfillment of natural instincts. What is our natural instinct? Our natural instinct is to celebrate, is to dance, is to share our heart song, is to change this world through the magic of our art and through the magic of our flame. Well, we keep it grounded in the earth element as well. And to be that princess that will help others see the princess within themselves. A princess who serves. A princess who is an ambassador for the higher conscious queen in the mainstream as well. So be that ambassador for your kingdom by showing up and giving your permission to your friends, to your family, to your tribe, and be like, let's celebrate. We are alive. We are here to be together. Let's create each and every day. Let's act, let's approach, let's walk into each and every day as a celebration, as a dance of the flame, as a dance of our light. And we do that in such a way that allows more people to be invited into this journey so that they can share their light as well too. And yeah, so that's a very, very powerful card. So thank you, Christine, as I activate the super awesome Light Guardian crystal there, the lit red one. This is the beautiful Lumerian one here. This one's like super lit. So that's again the Princess of Flames card. So for anybody here, let me know how that resonates with you. Christine, I'm going to read your comments. Christine says, still laughing. It's so perfect. Heard loud and cleared. I have been about to launch my channel and my website for longer, and I would like to admit, I do need to wholly channel my fire. Beautiful, beautiful, Christine. Christine, absolutely. I'm looking forward to being able to see your content too. And again, yeah, that's the thing. Like your fire could be like making a dope YouTube post. Like imagine that. Like I'm sure you've probably seen people do that, but like have you seen that? Those videos where people just show up and they're just like lit, you know, like they're fire. Like, you know, you think of people like Jason Silva and Preston Smiles and things like that, and lots of Alexi Pranos, a lot of these creators and stuff like that. You watch them and they have a presence to them and you're like, oh my God, what is that? Like it's a fire. It's a fire. And like that fire, again, it's going to look different in everyone, but it is inside of us. And we do have this ability, again, to be able to like bring it into our art, to bring it into our voice, to bring it into our message that we are sharing with others. So be that princess of flames who is carrying that flame, not just to try and like, you know, fuel her ego, but to be able to help inspire the flame and ignite the flame in each and every single one of us. Christine says, I feel you, your message. I know my Libra moon and South Node, overcoming, transforming, natal Venus and Taurus. I'm definitely sensually aware and I love dancing and singing. Paper Druid, dancing is medicine. Absolutely, Paper Druid. Fully agree there. Brendan says, flowing flame. You're awesome and a great person. Thank you for being Brendan. Brendan, thank you as well. We got another Brendan in the chat. Yeah, so everybody here, I just want everybody here to like literally just like let's just like just get that dance like moving right now. And again, it doesn't have to be like super like crazy or heavy, but I just want, like, again, we were kind of already doing this when we were meditating. I want everybody here to just like imagine they're like the flame on a candle. And just take a moment here, like literally, we'll just breathe for a second here. And anybody else who wants to leave their comments on how this resonates with you, please feel free to let me know. And for those of you in the Instagram or in the Instagram, if you're watching on Instagram, swipe up and tune in there. But again, so everybody here, I want you to just kind of like add a little bit of a sway, connect into your breath, and just visualize yourself as like a single flame. And then with each breath, inhale, you fuel the oxygen. And again, when we understand that like fueling our flame, we fuel our flame with opportunity. We fuel our flame with self-talk. We fuel our flame with permission. We fuel our flame with community. We fuel our flame with momentum, with healthy habits. And again, going off the turning point, releasing that which doesn't serve to give us the space to bring in the oxygen to fuel our flame for what we need. So turning point to Princess of Flames, one to the other, a stepping stone into becoming something more. With each breath, imagine your flame coming a little bit bigger and add like a little bit more movement into where you are right now. Maybe you're sitting, maybe you're standing, and just kind of like feel yourself moving as if you are a flame. And we'll just take a moment here, just do like a little like meditative dance and just like roll your shoulders and just kind of like move your hands where you want them. Again, like maybe even just kind of like bring your hands into contact with yourself. You know, you can even just kind of like touch your own hands. And again, like, and honestly, like how often do we kind of just like celebrate our body and just kind of like feel ourselves in this like way that, again, not necessarily like fully like sexual, but sensual, and just kind of like allow yourself to just kind of like feel yourself, like kind of do this thing where you keep contact. I'll give you some instructions. Keep contact with two parts of your body. So it's like contact dancing with yourself, and just allow your body to like always, your two hands to always be in contact with each other. And then as you're doing this, you're literally just kind of like feeling the sensualness of your body, but you're also like feeling the heat. So feel the heat and start activating the heat. Like we literally are flame. We literally are fire. And again, it's so easy for us to kind of get snuffed out, right? I'm sure we've all seen this, but we allow ourselves, we give ourselves permission to feel that flame. And again, just go in a way that feels right for you now. You can stop doing that part, what I just said, but just allow yourself to move in a little bit more, add a little bit of like a wag to your tail. And imagine yourself just like dancing in a way and give yourself that permission. And right now, I want everybody here to just like allow yourself to just kind of like give yourself permission and just be like, yes, I give myself permission to ignite my flame. I give myself permission to dance. I give myself permission to show up. I give myself permission to shine my light. I give myself permission to do the things that instinctually I want to do. Like you have all that code inside of you to do what you are here to do. And that is your instincts, that is your desire, that is your calling, that is your heart song. So just feel that and give yourself that permission. For everybody here, again, when we do these broadcasts, I want everybody here not just to get a reading, but to get inspired. And when we think about the word inspire, we'll just say this and we'll wrap it up. We got 2 more readings we got to do. When we talk about the word inspire, it's literally inspire, like a spire, like a pillar. So think of this as like a pillar of flame or a pillar of light, or the Jedi, the pillar of light. That's what the term Jedi means. It means pillar of light. So again, this is about us like activating our inner Jedi. So even just like think about, it's just like, oh man, like think about like Rey from like the new Star Wars coming out and stuff like that. Like just imagine like how inspired you get when you see like Rey on screen, like kicking ass and being a badass Jedi. You have that same permission too. You have that superhero inside of you. You have that flame princess inside of you. So just take a few more moments here as we connect with our breath. Get some big exhales. Like seriously, I want you to kind of like do an exhale like what I just did. Kind of as you do that, it's like you're stoking the flame inside of you. If you want, you don't have to do this. But again, just take like a big inhale. Without getting too lightheaded, and just do a couple more of those. You're like stoking it. There's like an actual like pump. Feel that fire inside of you. Just take one more. And then just bring your flame back to a gentle, gentle sway. And just feel that as you've received this message, you've just kind of given yourself confirmation and permission to just be like, yes, I am here to be that flame princess. I am here to shine my light. I am here to dance in my room, on the street corners, in the forest, in the clubs, metaphorically, literally. I am here to do it for myself, first and foremost, and knowing that it will inspire others at the same time. So you are worthy. You are worthy. Each and every single person here, you are so fucking worthy. And I see you, and I see your beauty. I see your sensualness. I see your eroticism. I see your inspiration. I see your fire. And I want you to carry that. I want you to carry all of that as your power, as your birthright, as your magic, as your gift for yourself and for others. So again, Princess of Flames card, very beautiful card. Thank you so much, Christine, saying, I give myself permission to ignite my flame. Absolutely, absolutely. And again, knowing that flame that each and every single one of us carries as a single candle is the same flame. We're all different candles, but we all carry the same flame. So it's the same flame. So when you ignite your flame, Christine, when I ignite my flame, when anybody else here in the chat ignites their flame, we all give permission to allow that flame to ignite. And that's why we get inspired when we see each other, because we see the light in each other and we're just like, yo, I want that too. And you have that too. And we just have to be able to nurture that as well. So take pride in who you are. Take pride in your ability to shine. Be proud of that. Be very proud of that. Do not let society, do not let any other person tell you that you should be anything less than the full brightness of who you are. Knowing that at certain times, strategically, you can kind of like dim it around and stuff like that. But in any moment, you always have permission to turn it on, because that is what you're here to do. And again, going back to the turning point, kind of like check in any stories from the past that have told us like, no, you're not allowed to dance. You're not allowed to dress up in a certain way. You're not allowed to be a floozy or things like that. You're not allowed to get this job or that job. All of those things, we can just say like, thank you for showing me what obstacles I am here to climb, and for me to become stronger in doing so. So allow yourself that permission. Allow yourself to just kind of say, you know, to meet any of those old stories with just like gratitude, for you to just be able to say like, this is the new story. This is the new way. This is our way. So excitement, promotion of life. Beautiful. So there it is. Princess of Flame card. Beautiful, beautiful card. So there we go. Christine, let me know how else that resonates with you. And Christine, send me a direct message afterwards. I can send you the write-up for that card too. And you can get the information for that as well. And yeah, with that said, we're going to get right into our next reading. I want to just be able to honor the fact that we've gotten a couple other Patreon signups during this broadcast. So thank you so much. We did have Joanne. Joanne, if you're in the chat, let us know. I'm not sure if Joanne, if you're in the YouTube or where you are right now, but please feel free to let me know. And for those of you tuning in, for those of you tuning in on Instagram, go to my Instagram story, swipe up on the Instagram story, and tune in on YouTube and smash the like button on YouTube. If anybody here hasn't hit the like button on YouTube, please feel free to do that as well. For those of you on Twitch, thanks so much for joining in. Absolutely, just please feel free to be respectful for one another, or otherwise, yeah, I will ban you, but that's like nothing personal. So, but if you're here, please feel free to just enjoy either way. So thank you so much, and we did get another new Patreon sign up as well. Thank you so much to our second. So Joanne actually updated her pledge. She was already signed up for the Patreon. So we had Christine, who signed up, and thank you, Christine. And then Joanne updated her pledge. She increased it by a bit up to the $11 level. So Joanne, thank you so much. And then we also had our new Patreon sign up, the Strawberry Angel. So Strawberry Angel, thank you so much. And Strawberry Angel, go ahead and leave a comment in the chat where you are so that I can see where you are. I'm not sure if you're in the YouTube or if you're in the Facebook. So awesome. Sean, thanks so much. Sean saying that was dope. Heather saying, oh my god, that's me. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you everyone again for just like being here and holding space for each other. So awesome. Sweet. Oh my god, we got 3 Brendans in here. Do we? We do. We have 3 Brendans in here. Awesome. Man, that was funny. That was like when I was filming the new video. I'm just taking a little bit of an intermission, then we're gonna, I just want to be able to see Joanne. I'm not sure where you are in the chat, so let me know where you are in the chat. And otherwise, Strawberry, what is it, Strawberry Angel, let me know where you are in the chat as well, that way so I can see who we're giving a reading to. And again, and then again we'll Sean, are you Strawberry Angel? If you can let me know if you're Strawberry Angel, Sean, that would be great. So again, thank you everyone so much for joining in. I'm just taking a quick intermission before we jump into the next reading here. Awesome. All right. Okay. So Sean, that is you signed up. So Sean, thank you so much. And Sean, if this is Sean, have you been tuned in before? I'm not entirely sure. If this is your first time here, please feel free to let me know. And okay, so we're gonna get into our next reading, and this will be for either we'll check in with Joanne. We'll see if Joanne wants a reading. And again, if we did get, so we got Christine signed up, Joanne increased her pledge, and Strawberry Angel, aka Sean, signed up. And so what we'll do, I still would like to, again, just continue to invite people to sign up for the Patreon. We'll do the reading for Strawberry Angel, and then the next reading, I want to see if Joanne's here. If Joanne's here, we can do a reading for them if they want a reading. Otherwise, we'll go right into the Strawberry Angels reading, and then the next reading from there will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. And then if we can get 3 official signups for the Patreon tonight, again, that is super appreciated. And then we'll reach again, like I'll let you guys decide. Like, I mean, I'm okay like doing the one more Lightworker Oracle deck after this one, since we did get like 3 additions to the Patreon. But if we get another Patreon sign up, it is always super appreciated, and then that will be another reading that we'll do. All right, sweet, awesome, Sean, thanks again. All right, so Joanne, last call. If you're here in the broadcast, let me know so that way I can just we can decide if we're doing a reading for you. And otherwise we'll go right into this next reading with Sean. So sweet. And let's see, how's sweet, awesome. For those of you tuning in on Twitch, thanks so much. We're broadcasting on Twitch, Facebook, and Instagram and YouTube right now. So we got the live tarot reading that we're doing, and we've been doing this for quite a while. And again, this is about being able to help provide people with like insight and inspiration on their journey of shifting consciousness and leveling up within the game. And thank you, sweet, awesome, Jonah, thanks so much for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, dude. Jonah, I'm gonna post a link for the live chat on YouTube. If you'd like to watch on there, you're more than welcome to. For those of you tuning in on Instagram, please feel free to jump up on my Instagram story to tune in on YouTube as well. JH asking, what's the difference between a psychic reading and a tarot reading? Yeah, psychic readings sometimes aren't done with cards, but again, that's kind of like more people kind of like connecting with guides and spirits and trying to predict the future and things like that. But with these readings, I don't try to do these so much as like a psychic reading, as much as it is just more of like an intuitive guidance reading. All right, so I haven't seen a message from Joanne, so that means we're going to do the next reading for Sean. So Sean, if you're ready, let us know in the chat. And thank you again, everyone, for hanging out here. And again, if this is your first time here, go ahead and leave a 222 in the comments. And you guys can always check out more at paradigmshiftcentral.com. Again, paradigmshiftcentral.com, we've created it as like a real world game to help shift consciousness. And we play the game by like leveling up and by planting seeds and by creating art. Awesome. All right, okay, so Sean is ready. So for everybody else in the YouTube chat, I'm just going to check, see how many people we got tuned in right now. And again, if we can do like I'm okay doing one more reading after this for the Lightworker deck because we did get Joanne signing up. But if we do have one more person who signs up, then we can do the reading for them. Otherwise, we'll do the reading more as like a general reading for the team. And we've got about 7 people signed up right now. So yeah, again, I'll keep doing these broadcasts as long as yeah, if you guys are keep pledging on the Patreon, then we'll keep doing the broadcasts. But I'll try and limit myself because I have to get up at some point tomorrow morning. So, all right, let's get into this next reading for Sean. And for those of you who are in the YouTube chat, just go ahead and leave a comment and let me know that you're still there. Again, shout out to Next Lifetime, one of our Patreon supporters. Thank you again, Christine, Spiritual Mastery, Brendan Hunter, Paper Druid, Quantum Queen. Hey, Quantum Queen, thanks so much for tuning in. And Erica, another one of our Patreon supporters, and Cosmic Moon. Again, Cosmic Moon is also one of our Patreon supporters. Again, we've got quite a few Patreon supporters tuned into the broadcast, so thank you so much, everyone. And Warda, thank you so much for joining in as well. All right, if you're tuning in on Facebook, please feel free to share this broadcast with your friends. And we're gonna get right into this next reading. And hey, JTM, thanks so much for joining in. Welcome back. Again, some of you were here during the live preview that we did for our video, our newest video, which again was like interviewing drunk students about aliens, dreams, and dimensions, which was really fun. So I'll post a link for that. If you get, honestly, if everybody here in the live chat, I'm just gonna post a link for the new video. If you guys can just like the video, that would be appreciated. I'm keeping an eye on it because we're strategically engineering that to like go viral. That's like part of my tactic is I made that video to help like reach a wider audience, like the university crowd. And yeah, and essentially from there being able to help like invite them further down the rabbit hole. And it's got 26 likes and 0 thumbs down right now. So that's awesome. So thank you, everyone. All right, Sean, let's get right into this next reading. And thank you again, everyone, for hanging out and for being here. And again, we'll keep an eye open for another Patreon reading. After this, we'll decide as a team if we do the Lightworker Oracle deck. But if we do have another Patreon sign up, then we will do that reading for that next person who signs up. So for anybody here, go ahead and sign up for the Patreon. It only takes about 3 minutes to be able to sign up. And you can find the link on the YouTube in the top corner or just in the chat where I've posted it. All right, Sean, thank you again so much. And let's get right into this reading. And and yeah, Sean, is this your first time? I'm not sure if you already. I didn't see that in the chat, but yeah, just curious. And either way, thank you so much. All right, sweet. All right, welcome again, everyone. All right, so for everybody here, let's just drop into our heart space. Let's be in that place of gratitude. Gentle inhale. Gentle exhale. And Sean, our newest Patreon supporter, thank you. I'll update the on-screen info in a bit. Inviting you to bring yourself into that intention of show me what I need to see. Just allow yourself to be there, allow yourself to breathe, be in that place of gratitude. And for everybody here, just kind of like continue to put your intention behind Sean in this, adding it into the center of the circle. Showing up here at this round table. That's what we're doing. And Sean, continue to breathe here. And when you are ready, you're going to type now into the chat. And again, with that intention of show me what I need to see. From the four corners of this space, we allow ourselves to take part within this race, the one in which we all win, the one in which we remember how it all begins. As we continue to shine our light, we continue to bring more of what is right into this world so that others can see the light within this dark night, so that they can give the permission to themselves to be what they have always been, so that they can see the magic, to see what we have always seen. And yet through the illusions of this game, we allow ourselves to rise within our own fame. We allow ourselves to ignite the truth of the inner flame. And now, says Sean, as we pull the card and we see what wisdom the universe has for us to be. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. I'm going to bust out my, let's see, which one should, the green light guardian crystal. Here we go. All right. Cool. Okay, here we go, everyone. The card that we have pulled for Sean, our newest Patreon supporter. Thank you so much. For those of you tuning in, thank you so much again. And yeah, Sean, thank you so much for supporting on Patreon. I was just reading Alexandra's comment. She's like, I don't know what this is. So, Alexandra, we're doing tarot readings to be able to help provide inspiration and insight. Go ahead and just chill out and see what message the universe has for us. So, the card that we have pulled for Sean, and again, for the team, is the Knight of Spheres. So, allow me 2 seconds here. We're going to open up the deck and we'll read from the book. And again, for anybody here, if you're tuned into this broadcast, then this is for you. This message is for you. So allow me 2 seconds here. We're just going to open this up. Knight of Spheres. Very cool, very cool. All right, so again, we're going to get right into this reading. Sean, for everybody here, just allow yourself to be present. Again, just allow yourself to be open to the message coming through. This is all just the universe doing what it can to help wake itself up, and that's why we're here. And this is all just practice. So thank you again, everyone, for holding space. All right, Sean. Allow yourself to just listen, and for everybody here, just listen as well. So, looking at the image of the card, Knight of Spheres. This is a very, very beautiful image. And so what we are seeing here, we are seeing a man with kind of like auburn orange hair looking off to our left. And his eyes are closed, but behind him you can see all these architectural blueprints, planning stages. And you can see this big, like, kind of like transparent version of the moon. And then this thing in the middle, it's actually like the neck of a guitar, if you can see it closely. And then down below, there's like all these little like puzzle pieces that are kind of like building the lower part of the frame. And then you kind of got these like bubbles that are representing the sphere. So you got like multiple bubbles, and then like the moon itself is a bubble as well. And yeah, and then you kind of got some stars in the background and everything like that. So that's a literal image of what it is. So let's read a little bit more. This is actually a very cool card, and I think yeah, I think Sean, you're gonna like this card based on just kind of like what we have briefly talked about here. So again, we're gonna do this reading for Sean. The next reading will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. However, if there isn't a next person, then we're going to do one more team reading based on the bonus pledge that we got from Joanne. So, Knight of Spheres, here we go. So thank you again, everyone. And let's see what it says. Knight of Spheres. The image. Before a background of architectural blueprints, the head of a man rises from stone. Meaning, through the connection of the fire element with the earth element, the form-giving principle of matter combines with the principle of goal-oriented will in order to create a foundation for lasting values. The Knight of Spheres reveals a masculine aspect of the earth element. The driving force of fire is always a step ahead of the rather sluggish earth element, so that patience and reliability can be recognized as important characteristics that should be incorporated into one's being. I'm going to reread that part. The driving force of fire is always a step ahead of the rather sluggish earth element, so that patience and reliability can be recognized as important characteristics that should be incorporated into one's being. In the same way that one puts the horse before the cart in order to use its strength for work, the energy of the Knight of Spheres can also be used. Once in motion, however, he is difficult to stop, just like the horse. This card also tells us to develop a realistic sense of self, because, in spite of all the stability of earthly power, there is still a tendency to overestimate the fiery power. Beside his sensory mentality, the natural relationship of the instinctive side of nature, the Knight of Spheres also has the ability to follow his goals according to schedule, which are then reached by a continual methodological process. This can be expressed in architecture, in agriculture, or other areas that require a natural connection to the earth. In the spiritual sense, this card indicates that we should bring our own actions into harmony with the laws of nature. Astrological significance: Jupiter, Taurus, Earth, and air elements. Keywords: patience and perseverance. Continuity: observation of laws of nature. Finding meaning: fulfillment of natural needs, self-realization, reliability, self-respect, readiness to work. Traditional meaning: creating material wealth, material security, strong work capability, lust, stubbornness, instincts, preservation, and advancements of life, practical tendencies, drive. Very cool, very cool. All right. So, Sean, for you, this is a very, very, very cool card. So thank you so much. Again, I'm just like reading your comments here. So, all right. So this card here, this is a very, very powerful card for you to be able to receive, Sean. And again, for anybody here, if you're tuned into this, then this message is for you too. So this card is a very important card to be able to remind us of the importance of planning, of the importance of foundation, of the importance of being able to pay attention to like what our dreams are in the immediate circumstances and both the long term. What are our long-term goals? Because the only way that you're going to be able to like build a house is to know that you're building a house, to have that objective, to be able to model it out, to be able to plan it through. So what I think is interesting is that for Sean, like I was just kind of like seeing you post a little bit about your music and things like that. And again, like we haven't like really met. And again, I'm not trying to do this in like a psychic way. I'm just kind of like doing it in like more of an intuitive way. But again, when it comes to like media production, when it comes to projects and things like that, for someone who's like a media producer myself as well, it's not just something where you're just like, hey, I'm just going to show up every day and figure it out as I go. There's a truth to that. But in order to be able to really succeed, in order to be able to really get ahead, in order to really be able to honor the potential of our dreams, then we need to be able to at least take the time to be the architect for the success of our dreams, for the fruition that will help them yield the results in which we truly know that they are capable of. So again, in the same way that this card is basically like the card that kind of like reflects the idea of like the archetype of like a sacred farmer, you know, from like a very metaphorical place. Like a farmer doesn't just kind of like show up and just kind of like, you know, just walk out to the field and just kind of like take some seeds and just chuck them around and just kind of like, you know, maybe spray the hose for 5 seconds and then walk away, dust off his hands and expect it to work. You know, like they know that there is a methodological process. They know that there are certain steps along the way. They know that there are certain patterns that must be fulfilled. They know that there are certain placements of the structure that must be adhered to, that must be honored. So again, for you, Sean, I see this as just a card that can relate to like any of like the projects that you may be working on, but as well as life in general, and to remind you that like before you get too far ahead of yourself with like the fiery passion to just do what you feel that you're here to do that like next thing that you're so excited to do, it's being able to honor them by being able to create the foundations with the earth, to nurture the soil, to plan out the blueprint, to be able to take the time to observe and connect with the natural laws of nature, to be able to help develop routine, to be able to develop habits, to be able to develop continuity. So again, with this card is also another card to be able to like invite us to be more aware of our daily habits and how can we actually develop daily habits that are going to serve our work. So for example, say you're just like, oh, like this is for anybody, not just for you, Sean. Say you're just like, okay, I want to become like a successful YouTuber, or a successful musician, or a successful filmmaker, or something like that. Part of that is going to happen by you showing up and making films and making music and editing and organizing and doing social media posts and things like that. But the truth of your success will actually come in all of the other habits but that. Meaning, how is your sleep? How is your diet? How is your exercise? Are you taking cold showers? How is your connection with nature? How is your relationships with others? Because if you're not creating that foundation, then anything else that you're doing is being sapped of its true energy. It's being sapped of its true potential. It may be surviving, but it's not going to be thriving. And so for you to really be able to thrive, I think this is a card that really encourages us to take a look at the full blueprint of our life, at the full picture of our life, and to get honest with ourselves and just be able to be like, okay, you know, like what things need adjusting, what things need more planning, what things am I overlooking, what things am I not looking at enough. And when we do this, we allow ourselves to be able to create the conditions for the fire to really be able to grow, to really be able to like be more sustainable in the long run. So again, this is a card that's really focusing on like, what is our long-term goal? What is our long-term objective? And when we take the time to just listen to our heart and to practice asking those questions and to get clear on that, and we may not get the clarity all right at once, but at least if we're asking questions, you know, like ask yourself, like, what is the most exciting thing that I can do? What is it that I want to do? What is the wisest choice that I can make? Those questions in themselves, that question, I say this oftentimes to people tune into this, but I really encourage you to kind of like get into this habit. If you feel that there are certain times where you're just like, I don't know what to do, like maybe you just kind of feel overwhelmed, I invite you to kind of like practice connecting with your heart and practice asking yourself, what is the wisest move I can make? Because there's always a move. There's always the next move that you can make. And sometimes that move is like stepping away from the computer and going for a walk. Sometimes it's exercising. Sometimes it's stretching. Sometimes it's hanging out with a friend. Sometimes it's going out and connecting with nature and things like that. And then again, sometimes it's like, oh, what? Like, okay, I'm going to like be doing some big social media stuff in the next week, in the next month. Okay, I'm going to spend the next 3 days planning out everything as best as I can so that I can create that launch pad to be able to move into things instead of just trying to like spontaneously wake up every day and figure out what I'm going to do just like out of a whim. So even with this, like this is encouraging us to just like get into the habit of simple things like journaling, like planning, like writing down our objectives. And I encourage you to like get into the habit, Sean, of like writing out your objectives in the present tense and even writing out your objectives for the next day, the night before. Psychologically, this has like actually been a thing that has been proven to make a big difference for a lot of people. The difference between writing out what you're going to do in the morning versus writing out what you're going to do the night before. If you like wake up in the morning and you write out your stuff, like, hey, it can work. It can work. Not to say it doesn't work, but to just like get into the habit of kind of like knowing what you're going to do before the day begins, then you wake up and then you don't spend as much time trying to figure out what you're going to do. You already know, you already got that list. And so again, even just writing out your objectives in a present tense. So you can just kind of like write out and just be like, you know, like I have like 500 subscribers on YouTube. I have like a full-length album released. I have a next album that's in production. I have meaningful connections with friends. I have a healthy diet and good exercise schedule. I have like a good sleeping pattern. You know, simple things like that, not all just related to your work. Your objective here, again, as the knight of spheres. The spheres are often related, again, like kind of like to the emotional centers and to the work elements of our life. What we have to do as the knight is to like really commit ourselves to showing up in the best way possible. So for you, Sean, I think it's just asking that question of just like, what's the best way I can show up? And knowing that you're not just doing that just purely for yourself, but you're doing that in a way to honor your dreams and to honor the value that your dreams have, not just for yourself, but for the community, to honor the ability for what your dreams can do to serve others. So as you fall in love with your dreams, you understand that there's a relationship that you're constantly developing with them. And how is that relationship? Are you nurturing that relationship? Are you giving things what they need? And again, sometimes what they need is not always just like chasing, but it's like strategic. It's stepping back. It's seeing the bigger picture. So again, I think this is a very, very powerful card that really just invites us to understand and connect with that archetype, the architect within each and every one of us, the sacred farmer within each and every one of us. And so Sean, you know, I just want to acknowledge that you have everything that you need inside of you to accomplish your dreams, to accomplish your objectives, to accomplish your goals as a business person, as an artist, because they wouldn't be where you wouldn't have them if you weren't capable of carrying them. What you need to do, and I'm not just saying like you need to do this, I'm saying this in the sense that we need to do this. What we need to do is to show up and figure out how we honor those dreams. And that comes through the relationship that we have with ourselves. That comes through the thought processes we develop. That comes through the habits. That comes through the routines. That comes through the consistency of what we can bring into our daily life, you know? So again, patience and perseverance. So again, Sean, I want you to just kind of like give yourself a little bit of patience. Give yourself permission to feel patience and to allow these ideas to really breathe instead of just trying to like, and again, I'm not saying like this is what you're doing. Again, I'm not trying to like do like a psychic reading in this. I'm just kind of speaking intuitively in general enough. But I think this relates to all of us, where sometimes when we get like so focused on our task that we're trying to do that we almost suffocate it. And then when we do that, we don't actually see more of the choices. We get so tunnel visioned. And it's not until we kind of step back and breathe that actually like more options, more pathways begin to reveal themselves. We can see other options that weren't previously there. So when we give ourselves that patience, that is a beautiful thing. When we give ourselves the container to be able to like say like, okay, for this next week, I'm just going to kind of take a step back and I'm just going to kind of like work on things a little bit differently. But knowing that in doing so, I'm creating, you know, I'm tending to the crop. I'm tending to the field. I'm tending to things. And then as you do this, and you know, again, it might be this thing where it might take like months and months and months, like metaphorically and literally for like, you know, like for seeds planted to start, you know, taking root and things like that. But then suddenly one day they just start sprouting and then they just blossom and they bloom. And that would never be possible if it wasn't for the foundation. You know, again, this is what happens. I'll just say this to you, Sean, and this is the thing that I think a lot of us need to hear, especially those of us who are artists and those of us who are creators. There is a very big difference between popularity and success. I have seen a lot of people who were popular, but they were not successful. And oftentimes that popularity was not rooted and it fizzled out. It was not sustained. It did not have the foundations. So you, for your art, you want to become successful. And in order to be able to do that, that means building the foundations and nurturing the roots. For example, like the project that I've been doing for Paradigm Shift Central, this project's been taking place for 10 years. Is it the most popular thing on the internet? By no means, but it has really strong roots, and that's why it's been here, and that's why it's consistent, and that's why people really value it, because they're just like, yo, this is like something that I can like feel the rootness on this. I can feel the intentions of it. So again, patience and perseverance, continuity, observations of laws of nature, finding meaning, fulfillment of natural needs, self-realization, reliability, self-respect, readiness to work. So Sean, as we wrap up this card, really acknowledging your readiness to work, and for you to, again, kind of like allow yourself to just kind of even bring in that simple mindset of like working smarter versus harder. And again, even just kind of like adapting the idea of like how we relate to challenges. Like this is such a powerful thing. This is such a paradigm shift, but like you can actually train yourself to the point where you can see challenges through the lens of excitement. Normally when we see challenges, we get into the like society convinces us, you know, like into this idea that like, oh, you have a challenge, oh, that means there's a problem, that means like, oh, there's something wrong type thing. But instead, when we face challenges, like we can see that as like, oh sweet, there's a growth edge, there's something that I want to be able to like put more focus onto, there's a chance there for me to be able to like evolve into a new stage. So again, that's why like honestly, like Sean, like for you, if this hasn't been a part of your reality, and I say this to everyone, pro tip, practice taking cold showers. Like that as like a mindset thing is so powerful. And again, the cold showers, yeah, they benefit you from like the physical aspect of it, but it's more so the mental thing. When you can show up into those places of discomfort intentionally, then it allows you to like show up to the challenges with even more kind of like, okay, I took my cold shower today, I can do that. Therefore, any other challenge that I have throughout the rest of the day, I can do that too. And it just allows you to see things differently. It allows you to see challenges again as opportunities, as you for you to be able to get like more perception on being able to how to be able to navigate things. So traditional meaning, creating material wealth, material security, strong work capability, lust, stubbornness, instincts, preservation and advancement of life, practical tendencies, drive. So again, I think this card is really bringing it back to the practicalness, and yeah, again, being able to play the long game. How do you want to be able to honor the long game, you know, and what does that look like? And again, even just kind of like allowing yourself to just like give yourself a little bit of time to be able to be like, you know what, like this is what I'll tell you, Sean, and then we're just going to kind of wrap up this card here. Your job, and I say this to everyone, your job is not to ... you know, like make music, do this, do that, go to wherever. Your job is to take care of yourself. That is your job. And when you give yourself the permission to acknowledge that, then you can show up and you can take breaks when you need them. You can go on walks when you need them. You can go down to the river when you need them. You can go exercise when you need to. You can go buy healthy food when you need it. And it's all your job. It is not separate. It is not, you know, we get into this idea. It's just like, oh, once we leave the office, suddenly we're not working anymore. But no, for all of us who are on this, like the spiritual path of being able to help like advance the consciousness and things like that, our job is to take care of ourselves. That is our job. And when you do that, Sean, for everybody here, when you do that, when you take care of yourself, everything else falls into place. The clarity comes into place. The tactics come into place. The routines come into place. The habits come into place. So again, Sean, as much as this is about planning your business and planning your art and everything like that, understand that this is just about being able to plan your life. Plan the blueprints for your success. How can you show up as the best version of yourself? What does that look like? And again, understanding that you may not have all the answers directly right now, but those answers will also come in you asking for help and you investing in yourself and you know, hiring a coach and things like that. Like that's such a powerful way for you to just be able to help like get those additional tips and tricks and insights, and for you to be able to get those additional, you know, like you're not expected to know how to do everything, but that's okay, because the universe is here to support you. And the universe, as much as it's going to come from the wisdom of your own heart, it's also going to come from the wisdom of the heart of other people around you, because that's still you as well. So acknowledging your readiness to work and allow yourself to feel excited. And the last thing I'll say on this, Sean, is to also, for anybody here, when it comes to manifestation, drop into this mindset of understanding that whatever it is that you're creating, it's already there. It's already created. It already exists. And what you are doing is this is kind of a little bit of a paradigm shift. It's less about creating it, and it's more so aligning with it. Meaning that when you get into that brainwave, into that vibrational frequency of just being able to be like, okay, like I know it is there, I can feel it is there. And then when you have that target, that's the important thing. The important thing is to have that target, to know what your intention is, to know what you're working on, and then allow the intelligence of your own being to like naturally find the path, to naturally follow the path. That is how you get places. And well, continuously, like, you know, like making sure that you're taking care of all your base needs and things like that. So this is a very powerful card. So again, Sean, you know, I see this as a very exciting card for you to just say like you're on the right path, and to just remind yourself that like this path is going to be one that's created with patience, and it's going to be created with like, you know, perseverance and creating those roots and planning things out and taking care of the architecture of your own life. And in doing that, of showing up and taking care of yourself, everything else will allow itself to just like blossom into, you know, the fruitful gifts that you have ready to share. So awesome. So Sean, let me know how that resonates with you. And for anybody else tuning into this, let me know how that resonates with you. Again, that was a reading for Sean. He's on Facebook right now. He's our newest Patreon supporter who signed up today during the broadcast. And awesome. For those of you tuning in on Twitch, Meditate with Mike, thanks so much for the follow. And Kevin, thanks so much for the follow as well. Awesome. Kevin saying, this is nice for you to do this to people. I wish you well with this. How long have you been doing this on Twitch? Been broadcasting in general for quite many years. Recently on Twitch, with this recent stuff within the past 2 months. But we've done other stuff. I'll post my YouTube link for those of you who want to check out my YouTube link on Twitch, because there's a lot more stuff there that you can check out. But yeah, Sean, go ahead, leave your comments. How does that resonate with you? And I'll read those. And for anybody else, leave your comments as well, and I'll read those. And we'll just take a quick intermission. And then again, we're going to take a quick break here because I want to be able to see if anybody else wants to sign up for the Patreon for the next reading. Otherwise, I think we're going to do one team reading based on the fact that we did have someone update their Patreon pledge, but I don't think Joanne's in the chat right now. All right, so I'm going to read Sean's comments right now. Sean says, you're pretty spot on. You just blew my mind. Awesome, Sean. Sean talking about thinking about the cold showers. Absolutely. Like, everyone here, take cold showers. And it's not, you don't like end your showers cold. It's not you're literally doing the whole thing cold. But again, when you do that, honestly, like for me, when I take the cold shower, I associate the coldness mentally, I associate it with victory. So when I turn it on, instead of being like, ooh, like I turn it on and I'm like, yes, like I am a stoic hero type thing. And you actually like turn it on as like a sense of victory. As soon as you step into that discomfort with intention, you've already won. That's a very powerful mindset to be able to adopt. Sean says, woo, it's been tough. Thank you, bro. I will relax and have more patience. Awesome, Sean. Sending you lots of love, dude. Sean says that was perfect, bro. Dude, awesome. Thank you so much. Awesome, Sean. I'm happy to hear that resonated with you. Again, another happy person for another, you know, successful reading for us to be able to do here as a team. And thank you again, team, for like holding space for that. Christine, reading in the YouTube chat, says, I'll second the cold shower thing, even just the last few minutes, and focus on your breath. Yeah, when you're focusing on your breath, that's a very powerful way to meditate, and focus on like breathing with your entire body. So like breathe through like your skin, breathe through your back, breathe through your chest, breathe through your toes. You know, it's a very different thing. So Wolf says, what if the cold water triggers a past life? 30 seconds is all I can do. I don't really have too much insight on that, but yeah, you know, do what works for you. And it's okay to kind of like find that edge and then just push it, you know, maybe 30 seconds one day, maybe 33, maybe 35 another. But sometimes it's better not to even count and just kind of focus on the breath. Awesome. GTM, thanks so much for tuning in. GTM says, that was amazing, dude. I needed to hear that. Awesome. Again, so that's what I love about doing these readings, is that these readings, like, again, we literally like help a lot of people all at once when we do these readings. So good job, team. We've been doing several of these readings. Like, I don't even know how many of these broadcasts we've done now. So again, let's just take a quick break. Again, for anybody who's here, inviting you to be able to sign up for the Patreon if you would like the next reading on air. I saw a couple people asking. The next, JH says, resonated. Thank you so much. Definitely taking cold showers, like 20-minute showers. Yeah, sweet. All right. So I'm glad that just by people watching this broadcast, you guys are going to join me in our regular cold shower tactics. So seriously, cold showers will change your life. Absolutely. again, because it's about being able to like change the relationship that we have with like challenges, right? All right. All right, so thank you again, everyone. We're just going to take a quick intermission. We've done 3 readings for tonight. So if anybody here would like to be able to sign up for the Patreon, do that now. And we'll keep an eye open for that. And again, the Patreon, you can sign up as a monthly pay what you wish contribution. And when you sign up at any level, you can get a Light Guardian Crystal for pay what you wish as an additional bonus contribution. So you could sign up at the $3 level and then message me afterwards. And then you can get a Light Guardian Crystal for like $10, $20. And that's in the agreement that you'll continue contributing ongoing. But if you would like to be able to get a Lumerian Light Guardian Crystal, then you can sign up at the $11 level. And so here's some of the Lumerian ones there. I'll show you a couple other ones. I got some other colors I'll show you guys. And the colors, you can choose the colors. What color is this one? Here's like a fancy orange one. I like that one. And here's oh, that one's an orange one too. 2 oranges. And again, these Light Guardian Crystals, these are tools, toys, and talismans. If you guys have not seen these before, these are available to order at questitemshop.com. Awesome. Sean, thanks so much for joining in. If you're heading out, then much love. And please feel free to keep in touch. And Sean, send me a direct message and I can send you the picture from the write-up that we did as well. So, boop-a-doop-a-doo. All right, so let's check in. Inviting the next person to be able to sign up for the Patreon. And also, I'll just take a moment here. If anybody here is also interested, we do also, in the community, we also have the awesome shift buttons. So some of you have seen these. The shift buttons are the buttons that have the Paradigm Shift Central website on them. And they're tools to be able to help evoke synchronicity. So they're not just swag. I'm not just trying to sell you something. They're actual tools that evoke synchronicity. And so you can see there's one that says like free hugs, and then there's like one with a wolf on it, and they're all like meant to like evoke like metaphysical conversation. And so you can wear those and give those to people. You can combine it with doing free hug tactics. You can see in the recent video I did where that's like how I was like doing stuff to be able to like invite people to interview on camera and things like that. So all right. For those of you tuning in on Facebook, please feel free to follow me on Instagram as well. And yeah, let's just take a quick break here. I want to check in with the chat. What do you guys think? Should we wait for another Patreon sign up, or should we do one more reading from the Lightworker Oracle deck, and then after that will be the last reading for tonight? So if anybody wants to sign up for the Patreon, go ahead and do that, and that will help us reach our bonus goal of 3 Patreon signups tonight. And allow me 1 second here as I'm going to update on screen. And then after that, I may just play some video games for a bit, just to kind of wind down, because I don't feel like I need to do a broadcast that's like 3 hours long tonight, which is okay. So, all right, Sean, I added your name to the on-screen. Thank you for the recent Patreon signups. Woohoo! So we're currently at 116. Thank you again, everyone. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and check out my Patreon, just again to be able to like see the work that I do. Again, I create like full-length conscious movies, broadcasts, guided meditations, free hugs videos, inspirational poetry, hacking the matrix with love. I'm the facilitator for a global community, building a global team of shifters, of light workers, of light guardians, as we call ourselves. And yeah, this has been an ongoing passion of mine, and I'm super honored to be able to be here with the team. So give me 2 seconds here. I'm just, again, I'm just taking a little bit of an intermission. Again, we're keeping an eye open. If anybody here is signing up for the Patreon, go ahead and let me know. And otherwise, if no one's signing up for the Patreon, we'll do another reading from the Lightworker Oracle deck, and we'll do that in a bit. But I want to be able to just like check in and see if anybody is signing up for the Patreon. And I'm just going to check, see if we've got some new comments. Man, people are really liking the video for the interviewing drunk students. Yeah, see, people are saying it would be like good job. It was entertaining and surprisingly uplifting. Awesome. Sweet. I'm going to check my Instagram right now. For those of you on Instagram, for those of you on Instagram, please feel free to swipe up on my story. And yeah, again, you know, for everybody here, please, I just want to be able to acknowledge that, you know, your support in any form is equally appreciated. Like that's kind of like the beauty of why we do these broadcasts, because again, you know, like people are in different positions. Money is a very relative thing. I'm not expecting everyone to sign up, but understand that, like, again, you know, by you simply being here, by you carrying this inspiration with you further, by you having an important conversation with a person in your life, by you continuing to embody the archetypes and the wisdom that we share within these broadcasts, then know that, like, that is equally appreciated. For someone who is simply here, present, liking the videos, engaging in that way, to someone who is signing up for $3 on the Patreon, to someone who is signing up for $1 million on the Patreon, it is all equally appreciated. There are, you know, I kind of think of this idea of like, there are like the different beads on a necklace, on a pearl necklace, and they're different sizes, and you might have one in the middle that's big, and then you have other ones that are smaller. It's kind of this idea that like all of them together create the form of the necklace, and you need all of them there to be able to create that form, and neither one is less important, even though they may be different sizes and things like that. So again, I just want to acknowledge and thank everyone here for your support in each and every form that you share it. So GTM, thank you so much for joining in. I'm glad that, you know, the broadcasts that we've been doing here have been inspiring you as well, and yeah, inspiring people to follow their divine purpose. Absolutely, building that foundation is key. I agree. Yo, bonus points to those of you who recognize the Triforce. All right, so let's check in here. If anybody here is looking for a reading but wants to sign up for the Patreon, go ahead and just let me know in the chat. Otherwise, we'll do one more reading for the Lightworker Oracle deck. And for anybody here, if you're just in the chat, just drop an 1111 in the chat. I just want to see how many people are tuned in right now, because we've got about, and like assuming you're like at your phone, because I just want to see, like, I think we've got, let me see how many people are tuned in on the YouTube right now. So we've got 7 people watching on YouTube right now. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doo. And we've got about 4 people on Facebook. And I'm not sure how many we have on Twitch. I'm going to check. I mean, Twitch kind of fluctuates. Sometimes people join in. Sometimes they don't stay that long. For those of you tuning in on the Instagram, go ahead and swipe up on my Instagram story to tune in there. All right, so again, we'll do one more reading. Just checking here. People laughing at my stuff. That's good. How's that doing? Sweets. I got an ad running for the new video for the interviewing students and stuff like that, so which is pretty funny, because like, again, I'm like using like a targeted ad to be able to help like reach them and stuff. All right, let's see if we have enough people here. We'll do that reading. However, to be honest, I may just call it a night, and then I'll just make sure that we're here again and we're doing more readings. Tomorrow we have our live team broadcast at 8:30. So what got me into tarot? Great question, Dan. I bought a card deck. I bought the tarot deck when I like worked at a store called Green Earth in Canada. And then I just kind of like started doing it. And again, everyone's kind of got their own style. Like when I do it, like I don't do it in such a way where it's like super psychic, so to speak. Sweet JTM, thanks. Yeah, let's see. That video is currently at 320 views right now. For those of you on YouTube, if you want to like that video, or just even comment on it, like honestly, comments on it actually mean a lot. Like that's actually really useful. All right, you guys tell me. I want to let you guys decide. It doesn't look like there's anybody else signing up for the Patreon right now. You guys tell me, because honestly, I love being able to do readings for you guys, and I don't want you to like feel as if like I'm like cutting you short, but at the same time, I am pretty tired, and getting some rest would definitely be useful for me, because I was up till 4 a.m. editing that video last night. So if there's anybody here, but I do still have like, I can still do like one more reading, but again, I'll do one more reading if we have a Patreon sign up. However, other than that, I'm otherwise gonna call it a night. So if anybody here wants to be able to get a Patreon, sign up on the Patreon, let me know. And then we can go from there. Yeah, no, I'm pretty tired. Like, I know I'm pretty tired, so. Like, yeah, like, I'm surprised I even did this broadcast tonight. Like, originally I was going to take it off and stuff like that, so. Yeah, I think people are just like, yeah, looking for, people are okay if I call it a night. Again, if anybody wants to sign up for the Patreon, that's cool. Christine, yeah, saying all the readings resonated. Yeah, I mean, we got like 3 really good readings out of this. So, I mean, mission was definitely accomplished. Sheila, thank you so much. Yeah, I have to get up early tomorrow anyways. So again, I'm gonna switch things over. I'm gonna play a little bit of video games and I'm just gonna chill out. But if we do get another Patreon sign up, then we can do one more reading. However, in the meantime, I am going to just switch things up and play a little bit of video games. I'm gonna play some Race the Sun. And if you guys want to, if you guys are welcome to hang out for a bit. Like, that's totally cool. So again, this is like, again, it's like tarot readings with Wolf, and then eventually it just becomes like video games with Wolf for those of you who stay on long enough. So, but yeah, I got some Instagram comments I got to respond to and stuff like that. So awesome, great to see people following on Instagram. Super cool. Tactics are working. All right. So yeah, I'm just going to start chilling out. Again, I'll keep an eye open. If we do get another Patreon sign up, I'll do that. And again, reminder for anybody here, if you want a private reading, that's possible too. Thanks, Sheila. Sheila says, we appreciate your time tonight. I'll have to watch the replay. Just got home from work. Oh, Sheila, thanks so much for tuning in. All right, here, check this out. I'm gonna switch up our styles here. See, don't you guys like just like kind of, I love being able to like, man, like I put it, see, kind of going back to like the card that we were talking about, like the Knight of Spheres and everything, like all the stuff that I'm able to do like with this broadcast and everything, like it's all because of you know, like I created the foundation and the architecture to be able to serve it in that way. I'll answer some like general questions for those of you just kind of hanging out. I see some of the comments in the Twitch. I appreciate you guys hanging out there. Again, for those of you on Twitch, please feel free to just like also join on the YouTube if you want. I'll post a link there. And definitely here for YouTube, watch this new video. I'm gonna post sorry, for Twitch, watch this video. Like this is my new video that I just made today. Interviewing drunk students about aliens, dreams, and dimensions, and it's actually like really uplifting. All right, I'm gonna keep an eye on I just gotta position things here so that I can keep an eye on the chat properly. Do I play League of Legends? No, I do not play League of Legends. I think I played it like once. GTM, thank you so much for tuning in and wishing you a good night as well. All right, Kevin was asking, how long have you been doing this on Twitch? So I've been doing live broadcasts since like 2011. I created a Twitch channel a while ago, but I didn't fully use it. And then recently, within the past month and a bit, I started focusing on doing the tarot readings. And yeah, and so we've been doing it like pretty regularly, at least like 2 or 3 broadcasts a week. And then we have our team synergy circles on Thursdays at 9:30, which are like completely different. And that's about being able to bring together leading members within the Paradigm Shift Central community, people who are like, again, like creating and facilitating community. And yeah, and then we have like on-air discussion about like the things we're working on, and that's with the intention of inspiration and talking about the ways in which we're helping shift consciousness. So Kevin, thanks for joining in. Kevin, did you just stumble across this on Twitch? Twitch is, I'll post the link for Twitch for those of you who want to see on Twitch. Like you can watch me on Twitch, but you'd have to create an account to comment and stuff. Twitch is another platform. It's commonly used for like video games. So it's like people stream themselves playing video games. So I broadcast on Twitch so that people can like synchronistically like tune in, which is pretty cool. So that's why I broadcast on multiple platforms. so that people can, like, knowing that synchronicity will still allow, like, people to just kind of, like, happen to stumble upon it. So I can still see there's about like 6 people tuning in right now. So if anybody does have any like general questions, please feel free to let me know. You guys can ask me like weird metaphysical questions and stuff like that. So keep an eye on things here. Okie dokie. But yeah, I'm just gonna play here for a little bit. Again, if there is any if we do get another Patreon sign up, I can do one more reading. Metaphysical gaming with Wolf. Oh, and I make my own sound effects when I game. Use the boost. Oh shit! Whoa, that was close. Oh yeah, and I also do my my like sound effects, like when I like almost crash. My like Hank Hill sound effect. You guys like that one, right? And it's just like, oh god dang it, Bobby. Oh. Man, voices are so weird. Like the throat chakra is such a cool thing. Like seriously, I can make a lot of weird noises with my face. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Like lots of weird noises. But you can too. Oh, that was a bad barrel roll right there. So sweet. The game I'm playing is Race the Sun. Looks like the frame rate's pretty good. Like I'm really happy. Like again, like this is like all possible because I invested. And yeah, I got a good enough laptop, and thank you again everyone for supporting and stuff. So sound effects 10 out of 10. Thank you, Cosmic Moon. I actually have like some like old Super Nintendo games. Actually, I might play that in a second. I'm gonna do this, and I just want, because I want to practice. I want to practice playing some old Super Nintendo emulator games, and we'll see how that looks on here. I'm actually pretty excited to play that. So yeah, so at this point, I'm just chilling out right now. So thank you again, everyone, for joining. And there's 8 people tuning in on YouTube. So if you guys are tuned in right now, consider this a chance to just kind of like quiz me on metaphysical stuff. You guys can ask me questions. Again, if you haven't already yet, please check out my Patreon and consider signing up at some point. If you're a fan of my content, know that you supporting it just helps me in making more of it. And again, the Patreon link is in the info below. And if you have any questions about that, let me know. But yeah, have I ever tried VR? Absolutely. My I'm fortunate enough to actually have some friends who own a VR studio. Like they're like fellow entrepreneurs. They made a VR studio. Whoops. In where I am, London, Ontario, Canada. It's called VRcadia. Shout out to them. It's Richmond and Oxford in London. And yeah, like actually there's some super dope stuff that I've tried. I've tried like oh wow, why I forget what it's called. Oh my god, what is it called? I just gotta double check this real quick. Microdose. It's called Microdose. Microdose VR is like a super dope VR experience. And it's basically like a simulated like psychedelic experience that's like all VR and stuff like that. So super cool. But yeah, VR is amazing. Like VR is the future, man. So much. Hey, awesome. Jocelyn is live right now. Sweet. Man, I can't wait until I have 30,000 subscribers on my YouTube. I've been at 10,000 subscribers for quite a while. Just because I've been focusing on other parts of the project and stuff like that. So it's interesting, you know? Like there's other people and they just like really blow up on YouTube, but for whatever reason, the universe like hasn't blown up my YouTube yet. Even though I know like a lot of people who have like seen my content, you know, there's like, damn, Brendan, your content's like super high quality and like it should be super popular. But I don't know. Either I'm just like shadow banned or just like the universe has got some sort of special plan. But at the same time, honestly, like being super popular is not always that fun, because then it doesn't allow you to like connect on a more intimate level with the people who are a part of your community. And so I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the people who tune in and and you guys were here, and you guys will be here when it's nice and small, and then someday there will be like 5 gajillion subscribers, and you guys will be able to be like, yeah, I was there, like at the beginning, you know. So, but I mean, part of my intention is to like grow my own network and media reach to be able to like help uplift my friends as well. So like essentially that one of the tactics which you guys are supporting on Patreon, like you're not just supporting me, you're supporting the team. One of my tactics is to be able to like use my channel to be able to help feature other people's content. Specifically on Instagram, like I'm building the Instagram for the team. Oh wow, I'm blind. Oh, am I going to survive this? Oh no, I did not. I'm building the Instagram for the team, and then we're going to be featuring content for the team. And then out of that, the idea is that like as that Instagram page grows from like 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000, then essentially anything that we share through it will like instantly help my friends go viral and stuff like that. That's part of the vision. So, but again, it takes time. It takes time. And honestly, like right now, like again, building the Patreon is like part of the foundation. Building the Patreon is what allows me to do more of it, so that way, so I can like have like the funds to be able to like keep investing. So that's why like me showing up and doing these broadcasts, like that's my job, because like my job is to like increase the Patreon so that I can do the next things as well, because if I were to just do the next things and not build the Patreon, it wouldn't be sustainable. So I need the Patreon in order to be able to like make sure that the long-term vision is being nurtured. Christine says, focus on quality versus quantity. Absolutely. You built it, they will come. Yeah, and again, it's also a quantity of quality. I think it's also very important. And I feel like we definitely have that as well. Alright. I am going to try using my emulator. I just have to remember how to open it. Oh, I only downloaded it not too long ago. All right. Is this it? Let's see if this works. All right, I'm just loading up my emulator. Still have like, I think we still have like a few people tuned in right now. That's pretty cool. All right, let me see if this is gonna work. I'll show you what I'm doing in a second. Cool. All right. If anybody else has any other questions, please feel free to let me know. I'm just loading up my Super Nintendo emulator. cool. That works. All right, check this out. Yeah. Awesome. Is everybody still on? Still a couple people tuned in on Facebook too. All right, I'm just gonna chill out for a little bit. I just wanted to try this, and yeah, if you guys are still here, please feel free to let me know. I'm not sure how many people are tuned in. Oh, okay. Christine's got some questions. When did your awakening begin? Was it triggered by an event? Great question, Christine. I usually tell people I was always just kind of curious growing up, you know. A lot of my event kind of happened when I was like in Vancouver. I was there for a work placement with my school, and I just kind of like got curious about a lot of stuff, and it really just kind of came from like becoming aware of how synchronicity works. That was like a big part of it for me as well. Oh, the frame rate on this looks a little chunky. So, yeah. But yeah, I worked with psychedelics when I was like 18, 19, give or take. I experienced DMT when I was pretty young at 21, which is actually quite uncommon. Like, you know, most people, they don't experience DMT that young. Well, actually, it's kind of interesting because I think like a lot of people in today's day and age like are like suddenly getting access to DMT like way earlier, and probably from like DMT vape pens and stuff. Like even like when I was doing the interviews with students, you know, some of them were just like, yeah, I've done DMT too, this type thing. And I think it's probably like people showing up with like DMT with vape pens at parties, but probably not having the full context of like what it is that they're actually doing. But for me, when I did DMT, it was a very sacred experience, and it definitely confirmed for me that there's more to this reality than meets the eye. So that was a huge catalyst. And then from there, I was just like really inspired to be able to like create the Paradigm Shift Central project, knowing that like all of this stuff that I was talking about related to like, you know, other dimensions and spiritual realms, and, you know, knowing that this was there, knowing that it could be seen by others, knowing that others could find it as well. That was very important to me. Because it gave me an objective. It proved to me that, again, you know, what I was doing was meaningful, and that other people could wake up to it in their own ways. So that was kind of always my objective, was never to try and straight up always just tell people the truth, but to be able to like create the space for them to be able to be aware of it, to remember it in their own way, you know. So I think that's kind of what I said in my video, is that, you know, like everyone's kind of got like this divine spark within them. And when we hold space for that, when we serve as mirrors for each other's growth, it's a very powerful thing. So that was a bit about my awakening journey. And then since then, it's just been like an ongoing process of, you know, continuing to awaken. Christine, thanks for sharing my post on Instagram. Appreciate it. All right, so I'm just gonna play just for a little bit more. Will there be any more Journey to Lucidity movies? Yes, absolutely. Journey to Lucidity 3, like I've started editing it. I started editing it a long time ago. Again, that was like kind of like one of the things, is that like I was editing it and everything like that, but then I just got so busy managing the rest of the project that I didn't get back to finishing it. And now right now, like, because editing a movie like that is such a big commitment, and there's like so many other things that I'm working on all the time, that I need to be able to like get my Patreon up to a certain amount where I can be able to like afford to work on it to such a degree. Because like editing something like that, like I really just need to like focus on it, like, and just focus on it, you know, like for like a week or a month. So yes, there are 5 Journey to Lucidity movies that have been filmed. And so the intention is there to be able to like release them, all of them, over time, and to eventually get back out to California to film another one. I feel called to get out to California this summer. again, like part of my objective is to, like, again, by doing these broadcasts and supporting the Patreon, my objective is to be able to like increase my monthly earnings by like X number of dollars per month, and then to continue to be able to do that. Like theoretically, if I show up like in a really good way with the Patreon, like theoretically, like I could increase my like Patreon earnings by like 300 or 400 a month if it's like really successful. And so again, you figure, you do the math there, where if I like really show up and commit myself to this hard work, to this planning stage, in such a way, then, you know, like 4 or 5 months of really hard work is going to be able to give me monthly earning income of like, you know, like $2,500 or $3,000 a month, which is like enough for me to be able to like have more options traveling and things like that. And then again, to continue to keep building that over time, like eventually, like I want to be able to earn like $10,000 a month. You know, why not more than that? And again, that just allows me to increase the global impact that I have and the way that I can support the community as well. So there's no shame in making money and getting good at making money. I think that's an old paradigm. I think when we're making it for like good reasons, I think it's a very, you know, it's a very important part of our journey to figure out how we can do that as well. And so, you know, as an entrepreneur, it's my job. It's my job to make money so that I can continue to support the work that I'm passionate about doing and continue to serve others. I've had people try to shame me about making money, and I'm like, well, like, I'm not going to shame someone for going to a job, so why would you shame me for going to my job? And my job is to do what I'm doing. So, yeah. But yeah, to answer your question, there will be more Journey to Lucidity movies. I'll know when the time is right to be able to work on those. I want to be able to release those like I want to be able to release them by like within 2020, I would hope. So if I can just kind of like get things where I need them to, and then be like, okay, sweet, now I can take like 2 weeks to just like focus on working on other stuff, then yeah, then I'll be able to do that. So like with the current Patreon, again, the Patreon numbers fluctuate. Like the Patreon's been quite a journey. There was a time, like it's kind of like gone up and down and up and down, and that was like a learning curve for me. Now my intention is to just keep it going up, and then when it does dip, it won't be like a substantial dip, and it'll just like keep going up and up. That's the intention. So pew 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 pew. Man, this game's a classic game, by the way. Like, this game takes some mad skills, too. Any other questions, guys? I'm going to just play this just for a little bit more, and then I'm going to head to bed. Going to go get some food and get a good sleep, because I need it. The next video that I'm editing is going to be another big video. It's the Climate Strike Rally. So part of my intention was actually to do that, the student rally. To do that first. The interviewing students. To do that first. So that the people would find it and subscribe to it, and then more people would turn in for my next video, which would be the global climate strike. So that's a whole nother video. So pew 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 pew. Yeah, this game's a classic game. Any other questions, please feel free to let me know. I'll be heading out in about a minute. Thanks again for tuning in, everyone. Appreciate you guys hanging out. So we're currently at 116 Patreon supporters. Oh. All right. Okay, guys. I'm going to... Boop-a-doop-a-doop. Awesome. Yeah, thank you again, Christine. Thank you so much. And Christine, I'll also send you the your promo code for the shop so that you can get your ongoing discounts from the shop if you would like to get that as well. Yeah, in the past, what I did with the Patreon that was, again, a learning curve is that I basically, like, I was really focused on giving things and giving, but it wasn't sustainable. And eventually it got to the point where I was giving more than I could afford to give, and then it kind of collapsed in on itself. So now I've like found like a new model where basically, again, people sign up for the Patreon, and then they have the option to like order the additional stuff, but that's like with them contributing to be able to order those items separately. Before, back in the day, people would sign up for the Patreon, and even if they signed up at the $3 level, it was with the intention of them supporting ongoing. And then I like sent them like a full kit, a shifter booster kit with the buttons and stuff like that, and like wire wraps and massage wands and sometimes the light guarding crystals. And it was worth like over like $100, and I would send them this kit with the intention of them like continuing to donate. But ultimately what ended up happening is that like a lot of people didn't continue donating. So there's like, we've had over, I think like, yeah, over 300 people who have signed up for the Patreon. But there's currently like over 150 that are like not donating. Like their donations have just been on hold. So like I've like had like a lot of people who have signed up, and then I like gave them kits and things like that. But then it wasn't sustained, and then suddenly like the Patreon was going down, and I was spending more. And so this model is much different, because again, it's still being able to transform like value into Patreon supporters, but it's not like costing me additional time and shipping, but I still like ship things out when people sign up as well. So, but again, it comes with a learning curve. Like it's, and I'm grateful I got to experience it, because then I got to, you know, do it, you know, and now I can figure out how to do it properly. So. Sweet. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up this broadcast. Thank you so much for those of you who were able to tune in. And yeah, stay tuned. We're going to be doing our Synergy Circle broadcast tomorrow. And yeah, I'll be doing another broadcast here once soon enough. Not exactly sure when, but soon enough. Sometimes I do them during the day, but it just depends. I still got a lot of work I gotta do during the day. So tomorrow I'll be working on editing the new video, and also doing the newsletter and things like that. There's a lot of stuff. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, Cosmic Wolf, thank you so much. Cosmic Moon, thank you so much. Awesome. Rest well, Wolf. Thank you so much for everything you do. You always inspire me, and you bring so much positive energy into people's life. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, Cosmic Moon. And again, if you guys want to connect on the Discord chat, you're more than welcome to. The link for that is through paradigmshiftcentral.com. You can find it there. So, all right. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you so much for your support. Good job, team. And as always, keep it shifty. I'll see you guys soon enough. And sleep well, dream well. And yeah, see you at the dream tree too. So, all right. Thanks again, everyone. Good night.